All right. Give it a couple of seconds, family. I'm going right in. I hope everybody. I hope everybody's having a great flow to the weekend. Hope everybody's having a great flow to their Saturday. All right. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody. Shout out to everybody in the building. All right. Sun in Aquarius, Moon in Scorpio. A little bit of tension, dealing with some communication this weekend, right? A little bit of intensity when it comes into expressing how we feel, right? Our deep thoughts, feelings, and emotions about things. All right, guys. So once again, I hope everybody's having a great flow in that aspect. And um, we did have the moon. Some of you guys hopefully was able to catch the replay of church last evening. We're going to church right now, and I'm gonna have a church session later on YouTube tonight. All right, but if you guys caught last night, was going through certain transits, and the moon was harmonizing with Venus. Right, we did have that moon in Scorpio influence touching up Venus in early degrees Capricorn. So there was a lot of harmonious downloads when it comes into things that we could transform, change, or use to build and structure things dealing with love matters and whatnot. So everything is not all tense, but today it gets a little bit more tense. Today it gets a little bit more tense with the moon starting to brush up with Mars and Mercury. Getting closer to the Aquarius square. It's still harmonizing with them Capricorn placements, so that's all harmonious, that Scorpio Capricorn axis right now. But guys, you are going to be realizing a lot today, what certain obstacles are in the way, whether it's a person, place, or thing, relationship, self-imposed habit, mentality, attitude, that's holding back your building process. Capricorn, Mars and Mercury, they still going hard in Capricorn right now. All right, guys, but that's not what we're here to talk about. We just brushing up on some. I just want to throw some daily vibes out there real quick. Once again, you could go check church session from last night to get a more in-depth understanding of what we're experiencing in the air. But guys, y'all see the title. Y'all here better be after the Knicks game. or Knicks play the Lakers tonight, right? Knicks gonna win. Knicks gonna win tonight. Braun might have a triple double. I was looking at some gematria numbers, but I don't want to get too deep into that. But Anyways, guys, what's up, beautiful people? Once again, hope you're having a great flow to the day. I'm going to get right to these points, guys. Yesterday, I posted that reel talking about the karma. Talking about the karma Saturn brings into our houses, family. I accidentally, because I was rushing it. I was rushing it right before I got on live. And as I was editing, with my big-ass thumbs, I might have accidentally deleted the third house portion. So the fact that I feel like it was a rushed reel, even though, it seems like a lot of you guys resonated with it, I was like, you know what, let me jump on this IG live thing. It's been a little minute since I got up on this IG live thing, and let's just have more of a more in-depth breakdown for the karma. Now, guys, remember, as I go through these houses, this is not Saturn through the houses. This is Saturn through the houses, but I'm not talking about the whole aspect, the pros, I'm talking about the karma. We specifically highlighting the karma. Guys, you need to understand when you look at your chart. You need to understand everything is designed from a sophisticated, accurate, spiritual point of view. Your gifts, your talents, this planet being in the first house, this asteroid being in the third house, your ascendant being this degree, your north node being here. This is all spiritually perfect. All right? This is an accumulation of your past life energies and where your spirit is at in your frequency vibration. When it comes into your gifts, when it comes to natural opportunity, yes, there's natural opportunities a lot of us just walk into in life because of what we may have manifested, what type of level of mastery we have. So God is perfect, guys. All right? God is perfect. You may feel like you see somebody else walk into an opportunity in their life in some type of shape or form. You don't know their spiritual travels. You don't know their spiritual travels. You don't know what they overcame in their past life. You don't know none of that. God knows. You don't. All right? And just like when you feel like people project on you for certain things that you manifest in your life, that you don't really understand how you have this gift, why you're so good with this, that, and the third. You may even question these things. You may even question your own gifts and talents. All right? At the same time, you may feel like people project on you, but you don't know what you did to manifest these influences from the past life. All right? But when we're talking about karma, I believe when it comes into the, the inner and the outer planets, you take away the nodes, you take away squares and opposition alignments that, highlight lessons in karma itself. When you're just looking at the planets present in the houses, it kind of don't get more karmic than Saturn, especially in this realm that we're in. Once again, people be thinking Saturn got more domain in this realm than the sun. To be honest with you, Boro, what does that really mean? Okay, if you just lose yourself in sun energy in this realm, yeah, you may gain some status. You may gain a little bit of light attention, some popularity maybe. But how much you're going to have to add some Saturn to make what you're expressing more concrete. Y'all ever have a friend or see somebody that's an artist? They're real creative. Maybe they have a real loud personality. Maybe they're having a viral moment on social media. A couple of months after, it's like, damn, what happened, bro? Like, you ain't really manipulate that energy into nothing. You could have had a business. You could have had a brand. You could have started a YouTube channel. They had no Saturn presence. They were just lost in their ego. Lost in how the world is giving them attention and how they're seen. So there's a big difference in, just your expression and being able to attract the light and being able to manipulate the energy so you have something lasting long term. You got some stability and security from it. That's Saturn energy right there. All right, guys. Now, we know Saturn is dealing with structure. It's dealing with time management. This is father time. It's dealing with discipline. It's dealing with how we navigate reality. It's dealing with restrictions and boundaries. So all these things will be imposed in the house that you have Saturn in. And that's what's the restrictions and boundary energy is what's pushing us to make sure we learn the significance of restrictions, boundaries, vetting certain people, places, and things, having discernment, participating with certain people, places, and things. Does this partnership, does this idea, aspiration, is this something I should put time into right now? How am I going to sustain the time? How long is it going to take? Like, all these things, Saturn wants us to be as realistic as possible, navigating reality in the house that we have Saturn in. And you have to understand the house that you have Saturn in has a lot to do with your karma. And especially the karma you've been manifesting in the earth realm. It's one thing when we talk about our Akashic records and the accumulation of all the memory we have from being in this realm, in this galaxy, in this body, when we were in plant bodies, when you was in an animal body. We still low-key in animal bodies now. We're mammals, right? But when you really break it down, Saturn has a lot to do with your karma in this physical realm. So some of us haven't been in on Earth as long as a lot of other of us have been going through this loop on Earth for the longest. There's some people on Earth right now, they've been on Earth so long, been attached to this realm so long, they're so far removed from understanding what purpose is. They're so far removed understanding what spiritual growth is, to the point they done became so content with pattern and routine energy. So every experience, you just, whatever program is thrown on you, you don't ever get into a space of unlearning, to relearn, to develop your own belief systems, to understand that you are a spirit in a body and you're here to expand your consciousness. You just keep incarnating, you get programs thrown on you, and you stay content for a long chapter of your life until you die, until you transition. And then you got to come back because you ain't getting it. All right? You ain't getting it. So Saturn is helping us to break out that mode. Saturn doesn't do the complacency in areas that don't support spiritual growth. Saturn is here for us to keep time sustained within processes that bring spiritual growth. All right, guys, and that comes with us being able to vet certain situations, people, places, and things in our life, so we don't hold ourselves back. Yes, that is scary. That is scary. That is scary. So you have a lot of people that are coming back in a loop, reincarnating over and over and over again, until eventually one experience, they have their awakening, and they get back to a sense of source and spirit. But then you got other people that haven't been here that long, because we came here to handle certain missions. We damn near probably got forced here. You got to uplift consciousness in some type of shape or form. You got some type of spiritual duty, or you're here for training. And that's what a lot of people got to understand about this earth realm. There's so many different realms, guys. There's realms that vibrate love. There's realms that vibrate love. We can't even see all the color spectrum is way wider than what we're seeing here. You think we see every single color? You think we have every single feeling and emotion in this realm? No, we're condensed here. There's higher realms, there's higher dimensions, Okay? This is the last realm dealing with physicality. So when we start jumping into, I believe I was speaking about this on live last night. You know, when we start spiritually expanding, it gets to a point spirit can't be in a body no more. You gotta have more crystallized spiritually dense bodies, right? But that's getting deeper into like ascending and whatnot. All right. When you look at the stars, you're looking at asteroids. These are spirits that have ascended to a certain point of view now, and they're living a life. They're living a life. When we look at the transits, the sun is in Aquarius, Mercury's in Capricorn. They are in a place doing things right now. They have bigger responsibilities than us, though. They have a way bigger body. Look how much people they respond. Look how much things the sun is responsible for. It has to feed life to this place. It has to give us. It has to give life to plants. It has to do. Look at the responsibility the moon has. The tides depend on the moon. You get where I'm going, guys? So just like how we may have some responsibilities being parents, we may have some responsibilities, you know, in our family, responsibilities for work, right? Being in this physical human body, when you start looking at things from a more expansive level, that's helping you to understand the transitions of life, how we get in and out of bodies. Just like how you looking at, you know, you go out in your back door. All of us is spiritually inclined here. So when we see animals, we have a whole different connection to animals, right? We see a little bluebird on our fence in the morning. We on Instagram. Oh my God, guys, I think this is a sign. You see a crow on your fence, right? All these different things. We more spiritually inclined, so we know how to look at these animals for what they are. This is a spirit in a body right now, right? And we start interacting with them and whatnot. I don't even like killing bugs no more. I got a couple of spiders in my room. They've been chilling in their spot for a minute now. I let them do their thing. And I know they bringing peace here because I'm also helping them to establish their environment. I'll be hollering at them. Yo, what's good? Y'all good? The heat too strong today? Let me turn the furnace down a little some. All right, guys. So we're all different. We're all spirits and bodies interacting in some different type of shape or form. It's just depending on how big your spirit is. All right. The fact that we in these human bodies right now let us know how much work we've been doing. It took a lot of work to get into these human bodies, guys. It took a lot of work to get into these human bodies. So that's just a little bit of that from just speaking about, you know, a little warm up dealing with karma. All right. And let's get into it. Now, Saturn, once again, is going to be, I would say, the most karmic places in your chart is where Saturn is at, where the sun is at. And I'm going to say the sun from a creation perspective, because wherever the sun is at in your chart, this is where you're here to expand your consciousness. You could say the moon is karmic, but the moon is going to have somewhat of a comfort zone developed there already. So the house that you have your moon in, you've kind of been connected to this area. You got a little bit of experience, memory. This is the house that resonates with your spirit the most, with your frequency vibration the most. All right. I would say Jupiter. The house that you have Jupiter in, because the house you have Jupiter in already shows, it shows the wisdom and experience that you've brought from past studies, from things that you just experienced in your past lives. So I know a lot of us say, you know, in the astrology community, a lot of astrologers, we say, yeah, the house that you have Jupiter in, it's here to help you expand, and you're going to experience a lot there, which is true. But I've noticed a lot of astrologers leave out the fact that there has to be a sense of application, which you already know in your Jupiter house. We already have an innate form of knowledge there. So Jupiter and air signs already have natural understandings about things with relationship fundamentals. Jupiter and water signs already have a natural, intuitive understanding about things dealing with the subconscious. Jupiter and fire signs already have a natural understanding about things, about how expression affects things with spirit, how spirit, you know, can have certain influences that affect their expression and whatnot. Things dealing with how to manipulate, you know, situations in their life based off expression energy, based off spreading awareness energy. And then you got Jupiter in earth signs, intuitive, understanding the properties of building, structuring, working with the earth element, right? They're way more wiser, applying time and utilizing the properties of earth to help carve and manipulate this physical realm. I was also saying in live last night on live, guys, a lot of us manifest some form of intensity in our life simply because we're not maximizing our talents, our gifts, energies that are in our favor. And God be like, okay, you did all that work in the past life to even have these natural opportunities and gifts, and now I gotta shake up your reality a little bit for you to realize, oh shit, damn, I must be slacking. I must not be pushing my gifts to the max. Sometimes it ain't a transit that's on your Ash Wednesday. All right. Sometimes it ain't a transit. It ain't a bad transit. It ain't a negative person, place, or thing in your life. It's your lack of ability. It's your attitude not trying to excel. You just getting by, and then life happens to you, and now we get in victim mentality. No, you have all this greatness in you, and you're not maximizing it. You're not making efforts to learn who you are to maximize the power that you have. This realm is training. This realm is training, guys. We deal with so much intensity here. We deal with so much restriction, boundary, Saturn energy here on purpose. All right, it's supposed to activate our powers here. All these laws. You ain't gonna tell me. You ain't gonna tell me this realm ain't ruled by Saturn. Get that sun bull job out of here. This is a Saturn realm. You could barely drive without a nigga pulling you over. Make sure y'all saging up and cleansing your whips too. All right. You could do 120 on the road, but if your whip cleansed up, them niggas ain't gonna see you. I promise you. Take it from me. I promise you. That's a little car hack, a little travel hack, a little spiritual travel hack. But anyways, look at everything. We gotta pay bills by certain time dates. We have laws dealing with traveling. You go out here and do whatever you want. Yeah, go ahead, get lost in your sun energy. Go out here, take whatever action you want to take without no control. See if you don't get restricted. Your ass got to do a sentence because you don't know how to control your sun here. So this is a Saturn realm, guys. And the more we know how to navigate Saturn energy, this is why I don't like the fact that the astrology community complains so much. We start creating these stereotypes, which, yeah, they could be humorous at times, but we play about Saturn being, oh, so harsh, which it is. Oh my God, Saturn this, Saturn that. Guys, when you complain, you're creating cycles in your life, whether you're doing it humorously or not. You're creating certain cycles in your life subconsciously. So I kind of don't be liking that about the spiritual astrology community, how we give Saturn such a bad rep. When, nigga, if you know how to embrace that mug, just like the powers that be, worship Saturn, then you'll start playing with this realm. This realm ain't nothing. This realm is really a joke. It's training. Then once you wake up, you start looking at it like, damn, life is really a game. If you move your energy here, you manipulate the physical reality over there. Man, this is crazy how that work. Life don't be happening to me. I be making life happen. You feel me, family? Listen, if you on deck right now, let me see some Saturn emojis in these comments so we can get right into it. I need to know the church is here, though. I need to know y'all here right now. The powers that be know how to manipulate Saturn energy. We got to learn how to get with it. You learn how to wake up in the morning and be like, Saturn, what's popping? What we restricting today? What we disciplining today? Whose daughter am I putting a boundary on today? Ladies, there's probably somebody big-headed son you need to put some boundaries on. Around this time of the year, especially. It's part 2 of Saturn season, y'all. We need to tighten up right now. We need to tighten up. It's too much conjunction energy. It's too much opportunity in the month of February that I need my church to walk into and not place restrictions on themselves. Because you ain't putting restrictions on the right place. Now you're restricting yourself from opportunity. All right? So that's too long of a warm-up, guys. I should have been on the Saturn in the 6th house by now. All right, guys? So, boom. Let's get right into it. Shout out to everybody in the building. All right, guys? Saturn in the 1st house. If you have Saturn in the 1st house, this is showing that there needs to be a sense of discipline established in your personal life. Now, we also know Saturn is dealing with the 1st house is dealing with the body, especially the head area and everything inside the head. The eyes, the brain, the nose, the skull, the jaw, teeth, everything in the 1st house. And when you have Saturn here, you're going to have this is my placement. You're going to have a tough exterior. You're going to have a tough exterior. Your body going to be a little bit more durable. You're going to be able to take hits. I'm speaking spiritually and literally physically. All right? You may have, if you have Saturn in the 1st house, you may have manifested certain situations in your life. Mars in the 1st house could relate to what I'm about to say too. You might have manifested certain situations in your life. You might have had like an injury. Maybe you was an athlete. Maybe you was just young, being reckless, and something that could have really damaged your head area or something. Like it was just a simple concussion, or it wasn't as major of an injury as it should have been. And the doctor's like, yeah, I don't know what's up with your child. They got a strong ass head, but they good though. They straight. Just a little water. Make sure they they eating well, they getting some rest, but I don't know how the hell they don't got brain internal brain damage. But you got a little tough cookie on you. Yeah, you got Saturn in that first house. Your exterior is built a little bit different. Why? Because you're going to manifest a lot of restrictions in your personal life when it comes to your aspirations, because Saturn is teaching you to embrace time, building something worth having, worth establishing in the first house. So yes, you got Saturn in the first house. You're going to watch a lot of people get from point A to B with their personal aspirations and goals. You'll be like, God damn, how they get there so quick? I got to do so much just to get that. These niggas, you gonna watch so much people in their personal life have resources you don't have and not use them. You gonna like, damn. Well, I don't got these resources. I would be going to work if I had these resources. And that's when you know you're not doing the real work. When you start saying things like that with Saturn in the first house. If I had that resource, man, I'd be doing this, that, and the third. Because Saturn in its evolved state in the first house is learning how to improvise their ass off. They learning how to work without the tools, without the resources they feel like people have. Saturn challenges you there to have a personal aspiration, first house, personal aspiration, personal goals, personal outlook, personal development. It's challenging you to develop without the lack of resources and all these different things. And through trusting your personal development process, you attract resources through people, places, and things. You attract all type of resources, but you got to work for them with Saturn in the first house. It's all day, every day for all my Saturn in the first house individuals, for all my Capricorn, Aquarius risings in here, even if you don't got Saturn in the first house, you could go ahead and write a book about how you always take 3 steps up to take 5 steps back down when you're not able to sustain discipline, sustain concentration, and focus with Saturn in the first house. And these things peak during your Saturn return. Okay? But by the time you get out of your Saturn return, it needs to be a refined pep in your step, though. You should be able to be easier placing little restrictions on the things. I've been so transparent and open with my church about certain things I'm dealing with in my life right now. I didn't stop smoking. It's about to be, we about to make 2 months very soon. You feel me? Y'all know me. I'm Bob Marley nephew. All right? Then cut that out. I'm abstaining from sex, and these are all things I've been trying to do on and off, and I've had my phases doing them on and off my whole 20s. The ideology for these things ain't happened last year in my Saturn return. No, since 22, 23, I'm like, damn, this is not good for me. This is not healthy. And after you get out your Saturn return, you're supposed to have a refined pep in your step when it comes into these different urges. So understand that Saturn in the first house, people, you have a tough exterior for a reason, because you're supposed to be built different. You're supposed to be able to look at, things being restricted in your personal life. Be like, okay, Saturn, I see what you're doing. You want me to place more time into doing this, down, and third. Okay, it's all good. You're going to see me discipline. You're going to see me discipline myself in the first house. And if you don't know how to discipline yourself in the first house, it gets to a point that life is going to become such a disciplinarian for you with Saturn in the first. All right? So you got to step up to the plate. You got to be the personal example. All right, it comes with some sacrifices. Best believe that. Sometimes I start feeling bad because I feel like I throw too much Saturn energy on my church. Like, damn, Boro always talking about detaching this, sacrificing that, abstaining this, removing that. I can't help it. That's my personality. That's my personality. That's my heart chakra. All this goddamn Saturn energy. I can't help but personally express that ish. All right, so it is what it is. And if you got Saturn in the first house, you need to make sure you're the biggest disciplinarian in your life, because it's way more intense when God and universe got to be that disciplinarian, right? All right. But that's what you're capable of. Okay, you're capable of taking these tough hits. You're capable of understanding that things in your personal life, it takes time to develop things. And because this also rules your body in the first house, you can't play about, you cannot play about diet. You cannot play about not being able to identify how your energetic diet affects your first house. It'll start affecting your face. It'll start affecting your hairline, your edges, ladies, your hair. You're going to start getting gray hairs quicker. Fellas ain't going to be able to grow your beard like that. You're going to be looking pale in the face. You can't play with Saturn in the first house, not understanding your energetic diet. Planets in the first house in general, you got planets in the first house and you're not keeping that planet healthy vibration, it's gonna wear on your face quick. It's gonna wear on your appearance and your aura quick. So that's Saturn in the first house. Saturn in the second house. What's the second house? Our value system, our talents, the things that we're good at, the traits we are inclined to give off to the world, our sense of self-esteem. When you got Saturn in the second house, you will have self-esteem issues. So there will be things that innately you feel like you're good at, and the universe, one thing that God is always going to make sure that the things that you're naturally good at, that you manifest situations to see these things, whether they go over your head or not. So for people, there may be people that their whole life they knew they were talented singers, but they didn't really start trusting that talent until their 20s. But I bet you once that person fell into that space of truly embracing their talent, they could look back like, damn, I've always, since I was 12, since I was 10, since I was 15, yeah, God been trying to show you. You just now getting to a space where you understand and you embrace your talent and you in a state of confirmation with it. It's not just you didn't just manifest a circumstance to realize these things. So when you got Saturn in the second house, yes, there's going to be self-esteem issues because you may deal with blocks and restrictions from things dealing with your talents. Now the second house has a lot to do with traditions, guys. So at times, depending on what plans you have in your second house, it can have an influence on things with family and family programs that's projected on you because the value system, right? So now you come into the world, your second house, your family, your parents, your environment, they could be the ones influencing certain values on you. So when you got Saturn in the second house, you could be the most talented singer in the world. You ran into some type of restriction. You ran into your parents telling you, like, singing ain't no real career. You ran into some insecure friends in some type of shape or form, projecting on you in some type of shape or form, letting you know, like, man, you could go to that talent show, but, like, don't nobody really be at that talent show, this, that, and the third. Like, you could go ahead and win first place. It's not really going to matter. You're going to run into all these different type of situations with Saturn in the second house. Forms of projection, restriction, and boundaries to the point, now this is an Earth house, reality, to the point you start looking at your reality, you're like, yo, what's my value? What is my true value? But hopefully it doesn't have to get to such an extreme state where you feel powerless and now your back is against the wall. But once again, most of the time it takes for our back to be against the wall. It takes for us to deal with extreme situations in life to start activating our powers. That's part of the training course that happens in Earth a lot of the time. Sometimes we just la 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 la. Then when we start dealing with intensity, we start dealing with extreme situations like, damn, I got to do something now. I got to start a new business now. I got to do. Why do you think so much people went through their awakening process during the pandemic or whatnot? Because some people feel like they had their back against the wall and I had to change my reality in some type of shape or form. Yeah, sometimes it takes that in this physical realm to activate your powers. So when we're looking at Saturn in the second house, y'all be experiencing things like this. Projection on y'all talents that force y'all to start taking that skill seriously. Start placing time crafting your singing ability now. Going into the studio, getting with a vocal coach, uploading covers, doing whatever you can to really work your talent. Okay? But you have to have time invested into it, though. It's a process crafting it as well. It becomes a process crafting it as well. And you got to start learning how to place restrictions and boundaries on negative projections. You got to start learning how to sustain whatever exercise, whatever routine in your life that helps improve self-esteem, and that comes from working on that talent. People be saying dumb shit, talking about like, yeah, you just gotta walk in your confidence, and especially that's why I hate social media, bro. This like they'll give badass advice just telling people, yeah, you gotta walk in your confidence, this, that, and the third. How the fuck a nigga, this nerd ass nigga don't know nothing about how to talk to a girl, don't got no self-development going on in his life. He's supposed to just walk out the house and be confident and talk to a girl. You just got to be confident, bro. No, there has to be some work to become confident. You just don't become confident out of nowhere. You have to work on something. How the fuck? I'll go take a rocket science course right now. Yeah, boy, that shit's going to be a piece of cake. Just be confident. You get what I'm saying? So when you got Saturn in the second house, social media, you have all these influencers tell y'all that dumb shit like that. Like, just walk in your light. It doesn't matter what you're going through in life. You got to step out that house and have a sense of confidence to yourself. No, bitch. You got to work on that motherfucker. You got to get in the gym. You got to structure discipline things. You got to work on your energy. You got to work on your vibration. You got to detox this. You got to structure that. Now you confident. Now when you come out in the world, you interact with others. You have a confidence about your interaction, how you communicate, how you represent who you are, your identity, your expression. Niggas don't just, you may have a sense of charisma. Some niggas got charisma, but they not confident. You think they confident, they just got natural charisma in some type of shape or form. They still low-key not confident in who they believe they really are. All right? So Saturn gonna teach you that in the second house. Yeah, you got this talent, but to take it to another level, you're gonna have to really work on this. You're gonna have to identify projections that's been placed on you and work through obstacles. So even when this person starts taking their talent, dealing with singing to another level, yeah, there's gonna be more obstacles. There's gonna be more obstacles. You're gonna start working with the engineer in the studio. Your first two engineers you're dealing with, they projecting on you like, no, you need to really sing like this. I think you this type of singer, and you like, word, this and the third. They playing on your self-esteem in different type of shapes or forms. Then you finally get with an engineer. He like, yo, you so goddamn talented. Like, what happened with the last two niggas you was working with? Or like nobody ever tried to get this potential out of you. And you like, yeah, they told me, these first two engineers I was dealing with told me I have to sing like this. And engineers like, you serious? You could sing any type of way. Why they try to condense you, restrict your talent? Saturn in the second house be crazy. But once this person finds a sense of discipline, a sense of, becoming time invested into a talent that they have, honoring the process of sharpening that talent, all right? I feel like I'm a talented astrologer. I feel like I have a natural knack of understanding things with astrology. But I have to study. I have to continuously, honor the studious aspect to this to really craft my talent. All right? A lot of you guys in here are talented with certain things. You're naturally good. You're above average good from birth. But you need to craft and place time into that talent to maximize it, to really take it somewhere. All right? So Saturn in the second house is going to teach you that. You got to be careful. You got to be able to identify the different things that's been, projected on you that create these self-esteem issues, and learn how to build confidence with your second house traits. And then when you get that popping, with Saturn in the second house, a bag is waiting for you. And I don't be liking to say anything about money that easily in astrology, because it start making people think like it's just 1, 2, 3, get in the bag here and there. Like that shit not time invested. Everything with Saturn is time invested. When you got that motion going on with Saturn in the second house, yes, that's where the sponsors come. Yes, that's when people want to pay you for your talent. That's when you find that you're easily able to monetize the thing with your talent, especially in the age of Aquarius. You start seeing so many different ways to become compensated for your talent, man. In the house of monetary gains, you think Saturn not trying to get some of that? You think Saturn not trying to get some of that in the second house? Saturn don't give a damn about the expression part. Saturn don't give a damn about the attention part. It give a damn about the foundation. So you put Saturn in the second house, a proper healthy environment for that talent or skill is going to turn into a bag. Point blank period. Point blank period. Is that it? Is that everything I gotta say about Saturn in the second house? I really wanted to emphasize the self-esteem issues and being able to have to work out of that. And identifying the restrictions on your talents, the things that you're naturally good at. And you got to make sure you're not self-restricting your talent. You're going to run into restrictions and boundaries. You got to make sure you don't self-restrict your talent here. But that may happen through the influences of you being restricted. So you was projected on, and then you start to, embrace that, like, yeah, going to the talent show don't make no sense. Yeah, doing this, that, and the third, uploading covers on YouTube and showing my talent to the world don't really make no sense. You're right. What's wrong with me? All right. So that's Saturn in the second house. Saturn in the third house. All right. I know y'all was mad at me yesterday. Like, really, Boro? You really just gonna forget about us? I'm sorry, gang. Y'all part of the motivation why we here right now. All right. Saturn in the third house. Third house has a strong influence on adolescent stages. All right. So some pivotal things could happen in your third house during that stage of your life, your teenage years, this, that, and the third, because we know it was our neighborhood, our surroundings in general, cousins, siblings, distant relatives. Early education. All right, early education. I like to say everything up until, pretty much up until high school. Pretty much up until high school. Everything after high school is the ninth house now. So even if you don't go to college, you started studying something in your 20s. That's advanced education. That's something after early education now. So you got Saturn in the third house, relationship house. The karma here is understanding how to place restrictions and boundaries on enabling ass relationships, which could be your cousin, which could be your sibling. All right? You got to learn how the things you're trying to build and structure in your life, you got to identify the resistance you have trying to relate it to some of these people. they may start projecting on the things you're trying to build and structure, especially with the third house dealing with thought forms, ideologies, creative concepts in general, because it's dealing with ideas. When you have Saturn here, this person is going to innately have a sense of practicality when it comes into their ideas. So if there's something that they catch an idea of in their third house, they see other people doing in their third house, this would be the first person to be like, damn, you see them niggas doing that over there? I think we could do that, make money off of it. They're going to have a transactional way of looking at things going on in their surroundings, but the karma here is being able to establish a restriction and boundary amongst unhealthy relationships. When you got Saturn in the third house, there's going to be things that you get exposed to in your environment, and it's going to be a challenge and a test. There's going to be a challenge and a test to see if you understand not to participate with that. So you're going to be exposed to niggas that have all different type of attachments. You grow up, Saturn in the third house, you see niggas smoking at a young age. You see niggas drinking at a young age. You see motherfuckers having all type of sex at a young age. You see people dropping out. You're going to have negative. You're going to see negativity. You're going to see negativity, Saturn in the third house. And whether you participate with it or not, if you participate with it and create certain habits, now you have certain things that you're going to have to learn how to restrict eventually in your life. And if you don't participate, it's just strengthening your Saturn muscle, understanding how to have discernment with what type of groups and social spaces you allow yourself to participate in. Point blank, period. But the thing is, third house is close relationships. So this is just not going to school and like seeing niggas doing this, that, and the third. No, this be what your cousin is involved into. It's what your neighbor is involved into. It's what your sibling is involved into at times. And you got to be able to be like, yeah, my cousin, my older brother dropped out and that nigga be trapping. He be getting bread, but that's his path. Nigga, I'm going to college. I'm a smart nigga. I'm a smart nigga. I'm from the hood, but I'm a smart nigga. And another thing is, people are going to try to restrict your communication with Saturn in the third house. So how you relate your ideas and whatnot, whether it's your cousins and your siblings, whether it's negative friendships that you develop early in life, when you try to relate your thoughts, your ideas in different type of shapes or form, Nina Love said you taking notes for your son. So you got to be careful when your son come back from school and is talking about like, hey, Ma, I was talking about this, that, and the third, and people in class told me that don't make sense. Or I told him I want to be this when I grow up. And my best friend or whoever was talking about like, you really want to be a doctor? You really want to be this, that, and the third? Pay attention for that, and you refine that ideology in his head. Listen, you can be whatever the fuck you want to be. You be whatever the fuck you smart enough, and you have all the properties to apply yourself. You hear me, kid? All right, you go out there and be something. You got to hit him with some of that right there. Because with Saturn in the third house, you will create. These are the people that when they blossom in what they do in life, Saturn in the third house, people, when they get interviewed, they will say it in their interviews like, yeah, where I come from, most niggas don't make it out. Like, it's so much traps and so much programs in my hood and where I come from. But they was able to identify that as part of their Saturn karma. Being able to identify the restrictions, obstacles, and work through that in their environment. But once again, these be people close to you. I just don't want to make it seem like it's just a bully across the street. And then, even though that's close too, the nigga, damn, your bully live across the street, that's kind of close. But it's like, I got to see this nigga. It's one thing having to see this nigga Monday through Friday at school. I'm going to the store to get a goddamn sandwich. This nigga at the butt. God damn, I can't get away from this man. I gotta fight that nigga. That's what you gotta do. You gotta fight that nigga. Saturn in the third house get real. Saturn in the third house, Mars in the third house, Pluto in the third house. Saturn, Mars, Pluto in the third house. Yeah, they know about bullies. They know about bullies close to home. They know about the pressure of their parents or their older siblings. Like, I don't give a damn. You fighting this nigga today, or I'm beating your ass. So what you want? What you trying to do? You trying to get your ass beat twice a day on the daily? That's about 10 times a week. Is that what you want to experience, or you gonna learn how to move through this obstacle? Because if you don't move through this obstacle now in your third house, Saturn in third house, this is gonna be long-term karma. This is gonna get into all your relationship houses, and now all your partnerships gonna take advantage of you. So that starts at a young age, learning how to establish your presence, dealing with social activity. All right. Yo, Saturn's daughter, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? See, your mind is like a gun. So that's Saturn in the third house, man. You need to learn how to utilize, look at your ideas as well as things you could use to build. And that's where another the form of projection comes. So it's not even just you communicating, relating things. Once again, third house, you have ideas for certain things, and then a motherfucker will say things to you, or your environment is set up in a way where they look at your idea as if it has no potential, and that's really, it's not just at a young age though. Like third house, it's not like when we grow up the third house disappears. No, the third house is still our surroundings, our close friends. So if you look at the planets and energies in your third house, you're still getting a feel for what type of friendships or what type of influences you're going to experience dealing with close friendships, dealing with, people close to home. You can live in 3 different neighborhoods from your adolescent stage up into your 30s. Look at your third house. I bet you that activity is in each place. I got my third house is in Aries. So it don't matter what becomes my surroundings. I've always been an individual in more of an outcasted type of way. No matter how much I try to participate in my third house, I always manifest situations that say, yo, bro, you not really like that. Like, this is not your activity. And I'm a Libra, so we cling on to things dealing with, we cling on to things dealing with partnership energy. I damn near went to jail, got locked up, running with thugs and gangsters at a young age when I have a whole bright future playing basketball. Got scholarships, but I want to be gangster though. And almost transform my goddamn life. Not learning how to be an individual. So, but it doesn't matter. Where I live at now, I don't have a lot of friends here, this, that, and the third. I don't have a lot of people that I'm chilling with that come to my crib, this, that, and the third. No, I have my close homies I went to school with, and I'm still in an isolated space. It was like that when I was in college. I went to 3 different colleges. It was like that every time. I'm the nigga that be in. I'm social though, because I got a lot of Libra energies, but my individuality radiates so much to the point I have to start learning that I can't try to overly exert myself and trying to be included and participate into things in my surroundings. I have to let my individuality shine and be able to attract things from there. All right. So Saturn in the third house. Yes, you cannot let people project on your ideas from that perspective. All right, you got that going on. You need to be able to look at your ideas as a tool. Wherever you have Saturn at, you need to be able to find the tools in that house. There's tools in that house. All right, and the tools in the house, in your third house, are going to be understanding what friendships, cousins, and siblings you do have that are in alignment with you, that you can build and structure things and change your reality with. And where to place the restrictions on these niggas, and also understanding how niggas project on your ideas here and your mentality here, and how the fuck you different. All right. Now Saturn in the 4th house. You take a sip of water for that one. I'm a Cap Moon, so I can relate to Saturn in the 4th. All right. Your karma. The 4th house is dealing with connections. 4th house is dealing with connections. Saturn don't like to be here. It's opposite. It's forced to look at home all the time. It's like, wow, niggas really got me here. And all I'm looking at is what I want to do in the 10th house. So you got to put this into perspective. I was talking about this on live yesterday too. I was talking about this at church. When you have a planet that's opposite from home, that damn near starts becoming the motivation. Because it sees where it wants to go. So Saturn's in the 4th house. It knows it wants to go in the 10th house. So people with Saturn in the 4th house, they're most 8 out of 10 times they develop what they want to build and structure and who they want to be out in the world. Because Saturn has a complete direct vision of this energy and what it's working towards. But what happens? A projection be in the home environment, and it may not even be projection. It's too much responsibility at times, Saturn. I don't want to say too much responsibility because ain't nothing too much. Everything is how it's supposed to be. When you got Saturn in that 4th house, Lord have mercy. Why am I 12 years old having to get work? I want to go to basketball practice. Why do I have to go to my mom's job, and I'm 11? Why I got to put hours in? Nigga paying taxes before puberty. Nigga is clocking in before high school. Because you got responsibility in the home environment. You can't even fucking grow up. I mean, No, you is going. No, that's exactly what you doing. You growing up. You can't even be a child. You gotta grow up so fucking fast. Damn. Shout out to Umi in the building, man. Shout out to the guru. If y'all don't know what's going on, you better go tap and act like you know what's going on. All right, Umi out here doing God's work. All right, so you got Saturn in that motherfucking fourth house. Yeah, motherfuck your childhood. We working. We going to work. You get responsibility early in your in your childhood. Niggas is like, yo, why you ain't show up to the birthday party over the weekend? It's fourth, fifth grade. Like, yeah. Now my pops, I had to help my pops out around the crib. If your father is even in the household, it's Saturn. We talking about male, masculine figures, authority figures. It's correlating to the father. So now we got Saturn in the fourth house. Is that nigga even around? Is that nigga even around? And if that nigga is around, that nigga might be detached as a mug. You rate your mother detached as a mug. If you was even raised by your parents. A lot of y'all, from foster home to foster home, a lot of y'all seen the disconnection between your parents. It damn near look like your parents don't even care about how their relationship affecting the children at this point. That's part of the growing up process though. You got Saturn in the fourth house heart chakra. So now this person has influences here from what they were exposed to in the home that they damn near gotta start making sure they don't become too cold. You start gotta make you that starts to become something you gotta heal with Saturn in the fourth house, that you don't become too cold based off what you was exposed to in the home environment. It's like my parents didn't even care about. They didn't even care about how their unhealthy ass relationship affected us. Niggas ain't never come into our room and be like, I know you just seen what happened with me and your father, but listen. Niggas never gave us that post-heated talk after they bullshit. So I get it. I get it. Listen, like I said, I'm a Capricorn moon. I relate to this placement. All right. A lot of responsibility in the home environment. And let's say the Saturn in the fourth house person starts. There's something that they become good with, whether they're just really good grades, they have opportunities to really, get scholarships or whatnot, go to college, or they have a talent that could really do something, to stand the third, whatever it is. You start damn near getting exalted, but with pressure. It's like, damn, like, okay, I know that I may have a chance to, like, go to college for free to play basketball, but don't start putting all this pressure on me to make it to the NBA and I got to put the whole hood and my family on my back. It's like, I got to still be a kid. I gotta make this serious ass commitment to this responsibility to bring stability in my home environment, and that is part of the karma here. That is part of the karma with Saturn in the fourth house. You do have to step into the shoes of being able to be that sense of stability in the home environment. Your parents may really depend on you. Your foster parents may really depend on you. Your grandmother that should not be raising you because your parents was unstable. Your parents is unstable. So your grandmother's your guardian, but she ain't really raising you like that. She's just your guardian. You coming home like, grandma, you all right? You need me to go to the store? You need me to take care of you, this, that, and the third? You taking care of your own guardian. You're taking care of your siblings. You go to school, you the one going to the parent-teacher conference for your siblings. You in high school. And your little sister in third grade, you gotta go be like, yeah, this is my little sister. Where's the parents at? I'm really my sister's guardian. Like, my mother's on drugs. My father, we don't know where that nigga at. It's just listen. I gotta go home, do homework. Is her grades good? Like, what? Just give it to me straight, so I could discipline her ass if she needs some discipline. Cause she been coming home telling me that she been doing her work. She doing her work. All right, good. She ain't lying. I'm proud of you, little sis. Now I gotta go home and do my homework. I grew up so fast, Saturn in the fourth house. I grew up so fast. All right, so that's the karma here. The karma here starts to understand. You have to start understanding realistic ways of damn. There's a lot of karma with Saturn in the fourth house because it's just a detriment. So it just manifests situations where you have to be the one to hone in on bringing the stability to your household. And you have to develop a practical sense of making connection in your life without becoming too detached and developing too much of a cold heart. This is one thing I give Saturn in the fourth house people. They're very good being able to vet people making connections. So remember, Saturn places guards and blocks and restrictions. So when you try to enter a Saturn in the fourth house person life, you're going to be like, damn, I don't know what's good, bro. I'm trying to really connect with Shorty. I'm trying to see what she about. I can't get in there, bro. Like, she making me work. Yeah, Saturn in the fourth house gonna make you work to get near this, near the heart chakra, near the home environment. You don't get in there that easy. Saturn in the fourth house. No. So I love that about, that's the one thing I love about this placement. And like I said, I'm not really going through the pros and everything. We just talking about the karma. But that is one thing I do like about this placement and these natives. You just got to make sure you don't extend that process a little too long. Sometimes nigga be putting in some work. It's like, all right, a nigga could come over now for a little Netflix and chill. Now you're ODing. You're ODing now. It's been 6 months. I don't know what your living room look like. You wildin' now, lady. What else a nigga got to do? All right, you taking Steve Harvey rules too far. I hate that damn book. The hell a woman need to think like a nigga for. Think like a woman. God damn it. All right, we're gonna make a book for niggas called Think Like Women. So I ain't gonna lie, this book been changing my life. I've been learning how femininity really works. I put myself in the shoes of a woman. It's backwards ass shit. This, like I said, this is the earth realm. It's backwards here. It's training, guys. You gotta unlearn you gotta unlearn to grow here. Cause niggas got dumb shit like that going on in the world. But Saturn in the fourth house, did you feel me? You see why all my life you had to fight? Growing up in a family home, Saturn had to give you that energy. You had to learn how to bring the stability in the home. And that's why you had to grow up so fast, because you might have had niggas depending on you to bring stability in the home. When you was born, shit was fucked up. Them niggas, your parents looking at the doctor like, I hope this child... I hope this child changes shit. Doctor, how old this child got to be to work? You think around 3 months? I mean, I ain't gonna let them work a whole shift now. They're only a couple of months. You think 6 months they could do half a shift at the factory? Your parents throwing, oh my God, we're getting a cramp, son. Your parents throwing mad responsibility at you. Motherfuck chores. Motherfuck chores. Motherfuck cleaning the house. Clean my credit. You doing taxes with the baby bottle right there. You on the laptop, your little baby bottle. All right, mom, let me get extra fix of some milk. You got some more? Yeah, let me get some of that. I'm doing an overtime shift tonight. I'm gonna need some of that tonight to fuel my little baby body. All these responsibilities y'all done dropped on me. All right. So that's Saturn in the fourth house, y'all. Make sure y'all don't become too cold to the point you can't even make connections no more. You so used to dealing with responsibility, ladies, a nigga trying to connect with you, and a nigga like, baby, why are you so tense? This nigga not into astrology. He don't know shit. He don't know how to look at your chart and detect things. He don't know how to become a healing component in your life. He don't understand you a Saturn in the fourth house person. He don't understand you tense because all your fucking life you have responsibility. You on top of responsibility, on top of teaching your parents how to deal with connection, trying to show them the reality of why things is like that in the family structure, because their parents ain't give them affection and connection, and they just projected it on you, and now you're here to break curses. Saturn, bulldozing. So best believe you got Saturn in the fourth house, you're breaking some curses. You're bulldozing some things here, for sure. But beautiful things happen when you guys, step into your power, being able to make sure whatever habits, people, places, and things that create unstable, negative, emotional, mental well-being in your life, because the fourth house is dealing with our emotional, mental well-being. So once these people start, really honing in on the significance of placing certain blocks and guards on this habit, on this type of relationship, on this type of person, because I know when I connect and participate and place times into these different elements, it makes me feel unstable in my fourth house. It makes my home environment upside down. And regardless of how good my house looks inside, I don't be feeling right. And when this person starts moving with that energy, I mean, the fourth house stays tightened up, and the right people can come in here easily. They know how to vet people easily. They don't get lost making connections with the wrong people, and the stability they could bring into their family. They could break so much family curses. That's your responsibility. Like, understand that you got Saturn in the fourth house. You are here to break some. This is one of the main placements. Looking at somebody that signed a contract to take the toll of certain things in the lineage and transform that. This is one of the main placements right here, Saturn in the fourth house. But like I said, guys, we need this adversary energy. We need intensity and extreme energy to activate our power a lot of the time. All right, guys, y'all strong. Y'all strong. Saturn in the fourth house. Saturn in the fifth. Fifth. I plead the fifth. Saturn in the fifth. This is another place. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. The point I started with, I didn't even finish. You see how long-winded a brother be? Remember, I was saying Saturn's in the fourth house, and the only reason I remember because this is it's the same concept with Saturn in the fifth house. Saturn in the fourth house, guys. It's in the fourth, so it sees career, it sees aspirations. But like I said, it deals with so much resistance in the home environment. So it's like, damn, how the hell do I maintain my path towards being a valedictorian in high school when I gotta sacrifice my time from studying to go to my little sister's parent-teacher conference? I can't even tell my grandmother to go. My grandmother could barely walk. So I gotta go to parent-teacher conference, talk to 5 of my little sister's teachers. Then I gotta come back home, prepare dinner. I gotta make sure I feed my little sister, make sure my grandma's good. I got SATs this weekend. Look at all this stress. Look at all this responsibility. Whole time you are the one with all the potential to change things, but you got to work with this resistance. You got to keep your eyes on the prize. Saturn in that 10th house. Even if you're an adult, it don't stop. Saturn in the 4th house, you just learn to become more responsible, more durable, and learn how to continue to work that family home balance, because your Saturn's always still looking at that 10th house in this perspective. So it's always going to be things that potential you see in the 10th house, which you can manifest here to help the 4th house environment, right? It's connected. So whatever I do that blossoms in the 10th, obviously brings stability in the 4th, but you got to work backwards here. That's the thing. You can't get too lost into the 10th house vision. You have to be as stable as you can emotionally, mentally, in your home environment. You have to create that environment as best as you can with all the resistance and obstacles in order to have more of a clear path working towards your 10th house aspiration. And then eventually that success sprouts in both of these areas. So then now, moving on, Saturn in the 5th house. Now you got Saturn in the 5th house. Now, once again, it's looking at, it's direct access, looking at the opposite house, which is home. It's like, oh my God, these niggas want me to get on the stage and dance and rap. And they not even telling me how much I get paid before it. Like, that's crazy. These niggas want me... These niggas want me to get in the stage and do all this creative, artistic expression shit, and I have to wait to see how I'm gonna get compensated for it. Like, I gotta take all this time building my creative process to see what it can manifest into. So Saturn in the 5th house, the karma here is learning how to place time. You gotta learn how to place time. Aphrodisiac. What's going on, baby? It's my family right there. Hope all is well. You're welcome. All right. You got Saturn in the 5th house now. This is the house of creative expression, but you put the planet of restriction here. Those things don't mesh. That's oil and water. So this is what Saturn in the 1st house need to understand. This is what Saturn in the 5th house have to understand. Saturn in the 9th get a little bit of this, get a little bit of it, but it's harsher in the 1st and the 5th. Because Saturn don't like the goddamn 1st house at all. This is its detriment house. All right? It's opposite from its exaltation house, the 7th house, where it loves to be. All right? It loves to be in the 7th house, and we're going to get there. So Saturn in the 1st house, people got to make sure they're not self-restricting their own personal aspirations and goals. And when you get into the Saturn in the 5th house, man, I mean, the nigga could moonwalk better than Michael Jackson. I mean, she could have better pipes than Anita Baker. I mean, she could design better than Kanye. Should I keep going, y'all? I mean, play the piano better than Ray Charles. But getting them to trust the process of building that creative endeavor and seeing where it goes, that's a whole nother thing now. That's a whole nother thing now. They get discouraged looking at how much time it may take to take a creative talent to a certain level. You'll be lucky to get them on the stage sometimes. This is your friend you're dragging like, girl, I don't care. I signed you up for the talent show. I don't care. You gonna get up there and sing. You gonna get up there and sing. I'm tired of seeing you self-restrict your talents, your creative expression in some type of shape or form. Let alone creative expression, Saturn in the 5th house. A lot of the karma here is embracing expression in general. So you may restrict your expression in the workspace. Restrict your expression in social spaces. You feel like your expression doesn't Because Saturn, realistic. So it's like, what's the point of me expressing this, that, and the third? It don't make sense. A lot of Saturn placements do this. Aquarius placements, Capricorn placements. Why you think Aquarius don't? Aquarius could be very communicative, but why you think they don't be communicating as belligerently as Geminis and Libras a lot of times? Because Aquarius have more of a filter system with Saturn with the communications. Like, let me not say that. That don't make sense. This is why when it comes into Aquarius placements, building connections in their life at times, this is where that detached energy come out. You know this Aquarius person love you, but when it comes into times for them to communicate how they feel about something, they may think in their head, what's the point of me communicating how I feel? It don't make sense. We need to come up with a realistic plan or solution for building this relationship. All that lovey-dovey or connecting my emotions, like, what does that really prove? Yeah, that proves a lot, Aquarius. Helping somebody understand how you feel about their ass. It brings a lot of confirmation into things. All right. So when you got Saturn, back to Saturn in the fifth house, though. You got Saturn in the fifth house, man. Listen, you need to be able to embrace whatever time it takes. All right. You need to embrace the process of building up your creative, artistic expression. You need to trust the process of you being able to build something on the stage and manipulate the attention for it. Now, that's one thing I give this placement. When they are invested into what they do creatively, yeah, they're not doing it just for fun. Saturn in the fifth house, this is the artist that says, this is the artist that blows up off music and ends up doing different things in life. They end up acting, they end up creating this business, and when they get interviewed, they be like, yeah, talented as hell. This is the artist you mad that they not even making music no more. You mad that this is like a Chance the Rapper nigga. I think that nigga trash anyways. I'm glad he don't make music no more. But this is like a nigga like him. Come out, use music to get himself in position to do a whole bunch of different things. And it's like, yeah, I used music. I used rap. I used creativity to get me here. I don't give a damn about rap. I don't give a damn about that creative process. I was invested about how much I was going to get compensated for it, how it could build a platform for me, how it could build a brand. I actually didn't even really like going into the studio. That shit was tiresome. Recording and stopping and recording and stopping. That shit was tiresome. These niggas complain about that bitch, about the creative process at times. All right. So these niggas have to learn how to understand how they can manipulate their creative expression to build things in their life, right? But trusting the process as well. Because when you're dealing with expression energy, we want that feedback, right? You're dealing with expression energy, throwing something into the light, into the world. You want that attention. You want that feedback. And what happens when Saturn's in the fifth house and it's not giving you that feedback right away? Yeah. What happens when you got Saturn in the fifth house, you want to be a YouTuber, and you get discouraged the first couple of months? Because why? Nigga, you been on YouTube first. Who is you? Why should you get ahead of everybody else placing their time, displaying their talents and their ideologies or whatever they doing on the internet? You think you should blow up overnight? For what? You just got on the stage, nigga. You better trust your process. Saturn in the fifth house. That's your karma there. That's your karma there. Niggas want. Now, intuitively, you're going to be picking up influences that you should be sustaining a process with some type of things, but you're going to run into restrictions and obstacles. That's the thing. Now, you're going to run into the obstacles. So it's not even about you getting discouraged at things that manifest in a certain time. It's you trying to be this independent rapper, and you realize you have to work 2 jobs maybe to budget things, to market your music. Then it takes time and money to do the music video and to buy the camera to do the music video. So now something you thought you were going to do in 6 months, it might take a little year because you got to save up for it. It's all, and then all these different restrictions and obstacles. I wouldn't even say restrictions and obstacles. That's you investing. Those examples I just made is actually you investing into things for your creativity. You investing for things in your dream. A lot of niggas don't even want to put money into their dream and aspirations. That's a whole nother thing right there. That's a whole nother thing right there. Don't tell me you want something and you're not willing to utilize your time and resources to build it up. You want to do this, that, and the third. You don't want to pay for a course to gain some knowledge from somebody experienced to learn how to do something you interested in doing, but you're going to play victim. You're going to look at God like, what am I doing wrong? You just don't want it enough. That's what you're doing wrong. Learn how to want it some more. All right? So you got that going on with Saturn in the fifth house. Man, oh, man. They run into all different type of obstacles when they start getting the crazy. This is hustle and flow. That's what just came to my head. Hustle and flow. Yup. This is hustle and flow. The nigga went through all of that just for Ludacris to throw his shit. That's fucked up. my son DJ dirty at the end. Oh snap! What's wrong? Am I not drinking enough water today? I'm cramping up like a mug today. Damn. It's that Saturn the first. What's all that tough exterior shit I'm talking about? My body breaking down like a bitch today. But I'm working too hard. I'm not getting no rest. I'm not getting no rest. But this Saturn in the fifth house, y'all. This Saturn in the fifth house all day, every day. I promise you, all my life, I'm putting everything into this art. Holy shit. I got hoes selling their body to fund my art. One of them pregnant. Look where I live. I got niggas leaving their family to help me come make the music because they believe in what I believe in. But damn, this restriction obstacle energy is real. Then my golden opportunity came and a nigga violated me. That could have been the moment I just folded. That could have been the moment I just folded and said, fuck this shit. None of it is worth it. But instead, I jumped into my true... I listened to spirit. I whooped this nigga ass because that was the spiritually right thing to do. Beating somebody ass, even though you went to jail for it, is the spiritually right thing to do. Don't give a damn what the law is. You don't let nobody violate you. Your spirit gonna die 1,000 deaths. You're just letting people disrespect you like that. Your heart, blood, sweat, and tears. This nigga threw my mixtape in the toilet, and I had to do a bid for it. The nigga went to jail. However, what happened? Nigga got his shit on the radio. All that time, Saturn, all that time invested from the beginning of the movie, the attitude he was implementing into that white girl, and she held it down. She took that time, and that's what happens. You reap what you sow, family. I don't give a damn what restrictions and obstacles you go through, how much ups and downs you go through something. If you looking at the journey like, yo, I walked this far. All right, fuck it, let's keep walking. God will compensate you for that. Y'all be wanting to get compensated financially for certain things. Now understand, you're getting compensated energetically through your time. The money is just a result. So whatever you put your time into, you will manifest that back. Sustain the process. And that's what Saturn is eventually is teaching us all in the different spaces that it's in. Whether Saturn is helping you heal here, whether Saturn is helping you build something there, whatever it is. But that's Saturn in the fifth house. You better navigate all them different blockages and restrictions when it comes to your creative expression, your creative aspiration, that thing you're trying to get attention for. Even if your heart really not in the music, but you can manipulate your talent to build something in life. I know a bunch of niggas. Listen, I'm the super. I see your potential ass. Let's get your potential out of you ass friend. This is why my social circle be so small, because I'm tired of overwhelming myself trying to get other people to see their fucking potential. And when I do, I feel like niggas make you feel like you crossing some boundaries and you pressuring them to do some shit. Like, all right, stay in the fucking matrix if you want. Come back to Earth next lifetime if you want, because you too content with spirit and you don't fucking strive for nothing. You don't do no creating, no experimenting with your talents. Let me go about my business. So I be tired of that. So Saturn in the fifth house, I feel like y'all be giving that vibe off a lot. He's a talented ass mother flipper, but it takes you to go to jail. It takes all different type of things for you to say, you know what? Let me put my time into the crafting this creative expression. I'm playing with God's time. I'm playing here. All right? And now, what is Saturn looking at? To bring it all full surface. What's Saturn looking at? The 11th house. Saturn looking at the 11th house. So this is why people with this placement could look at creativity as something that, like, okay, yeah, I'm a nice rapper, I'm a great fashion designer, this and the third, but that's why I'm looking at the 11th house. So the whole time I was playing with this creativity because I was trying to bring it into the 11th house, because I know that's what these niggas love. They love this music. I could give a damn about it. They love these clothes. I could give a damn about it. They love this poetry or whatever the fuck I'm putting on the stage in the 5th house. That's how Saturn be looking at it, because that's his opposite view, the 11th house. So that's one thing that's powerful here. Listen, it don't matter if Saturn's debilitated or not. It don't matter if... Get that shit out your minds, family, when astrologers is telling you a planet can't see certain peaks and whatnot because it's debilitated, because it's in its detriment. That's like saying somebody born in the hood that's broke can't see success. That's the same thing. You're saying this person that's broke in the hood, have no resources, had to raise themselves, no parental guidance. Yeah, we know statistically, little bro, little sis ain't got the best. Statistically speaking, they're in a little bit of a rough patch. But it ain't impossible. That's all the pressure to carve a diamond, cultivate a diamond right there. A lot of people ain't never gonna see their potential because you ain't deal with enough resistance in your life. You've been coddled too much. Your parents got money. You ain't run into no real nigga shit in your life. Saturn must be a little soft on your ass in some type of shape or form, and nothing ever pushed you. And then now you get into Saturn return energy. You get into your 30s, you get into your 40s, and now you start dealing with life for real, and you don't know how to react to it because you never dealt with life for real. There's no character that's been developed. Saturn developing character out here. All right. So then when we talking about yes, Saturn. That's why Saturn in the fifth house be having that perspective because Saturn has a view of what people love and like in the 11th house. So you got to just make sure Saturn in the fifth house you don't get too distracted in your creation process because you're too focused on just pleasing the 11th house because then now you can start being a little too overwhelmed. That's not to say not to put your heart into your creativity, but that's just the natural psyche that develops here, and these people they remember Saturn wants to use. So Saturn in the fifth house will start using Saturn in the fifth house will start using childlike activity, creative expression, creative attributes to build stability, and now they can move into positions that they really want their heart into. Maybe they use music just because of it. They know they was good with this, that, and the third, but they really love fashion. They really love film or whatever it is. So you got situations like that. Y'all know I'm just using these different type of examples. All right. So Saturn in the fifth house. There you go. There you go. That's your karma. Learning how to navigate all those different things. Saturn in the sixth house. Saturn in the sixth house, man. I like seeing them Saturn in the Earth house placement in there because naturally these motherfuckers go to work. Because wherever Saturn is at, we look at it like it's responsibility. So you got Saturn, the sixth house, the Earth house is already responsibility houses. So you got Saturn in there. Niggas will tell you, I got work in the morning. I am not popping out tonight. I'm trying to get these extra hours in this check. I'm saving up for this, that, and the third. You niggas have fun. All right, I got to get motherfucking rest. Saturn in the sixth house. They not playing. They not playing about that, all of that. I be around Saturn in the sixth. I'll give you that. I'll be around Saturn in the sixth house people, and I be like, I need to tighten up. How you get all that done in a day? I just can't. I be so scattered. I be procrastinating. Your schedule airtight, woman. All right. So Saturn in the sixth house, man. You're gonna manifest situations where the karma in the sixth house is being able to make sure your schedule and regimen is airtight with things that support healthy wellness in your life. If you got Saturn in the sixth house, that means in previous lifetimes, your previous Earth life, you may have been extremely lackadaisical with this area. You may have been lackadaisical with this area. You don't have no awareness for your energetic diets. You don't know how to initiate certain things, certain routines, habits in your regimen in some type of shape or form that help your mental health. So, you have a lot of people with Saturn in the sixth house that, they'll give a lot of, as they mature, because Saturn is dealing with maturity as well. All the planets are, but maturity is a real ass thing with Saturn. It has rings around it for a reason. These rings represent consciousness. But when you have Saturn in the sixth house, these individuals at times, when they don't look at their sixth house as responsibility, oh man, life be upside down. You got Saturn in the sixth house, and you're not looking at your sixth house like it's a responsibility, or you're always like neglecting responsibility in your sixth house. You putting responsibility on the back burner to do other things at times, right? You may have certain alignments hitting your Saturn. You don't know how to see something that you want to structure and build and know how to put it into your schedule and routine. Things start becoming upside down in the sixth house by default. So your wellness is a huge thing here. You have to, because if we know Saturn is placing restrictions, this person gonna have to know. I got friends that smoke a lot, this, that, and the third, but I know smoking impacts me in this way. I got friends, this, that, and the third, that don't be liking to go to the gym and eat right, and I know I like to stay fit. I might have to manage this relationship a little bit different. My friendship's a little bit different in some type of shape or form. And I know this environment affects my mental health. I got to place restrictions here, no matter if that's my close friends, no matter if this is a familiar environment, whatever it is. So you got to make a lot of tough judgment calls at times with Saturn in the sixth house to sacrifice things for your mental health, to sacrifice things for your wellness. Now, when we get into the workspace, we know sixth house dealing with the workspace, but this is also the routine that supports what you're building out of your second and 10th house. So the second house, we plant the seeds there. If a lot of y'all that probably book some have some career readings with me or readings with me in general, y'all know how I like to label my earth houses, right? To help build a formula for you to navigate career in your life, right? We plant the seed in the second house with the second house ruler. Then the sixth house, I call it the spiritual engine. Wherever the ruler is at your sixth house, you always got to make sure you're scheduling, routine, and practicing, crafting, working on that area, because that's what's going to uphold, career in some type of shape or form. Your natural value system that could sprout into development in your 10th house with your reputation, your social status, and how you can manipulate that for career. So when you got Saturn in the sixth house, you're going to have to learn how to channel that focus in for work, for some type of regiment, consistent sacrifices for things you want to build and structure in your life, to the point you start coming off as an example to people like, damn, how they just be so efficient with their time management, how they become like my sis, my bro, my friend, my partner that got Saturn in the sixth house, that's matured with it. They don't allow miscellaneous random situations to come just throw their task off, throw their agenda off, throw their responsibilities off. It don't happen. It don't happen with Saturn in the sixth house. And before they get to that point, they start realizing why they have to tighten up here in general, because when they just allow their schedule and routine to be so open to let anything come in there, Saturn will make sure you start experiencing some form of chaos, right? Whether it's dealing with your health matters, and then you have to learn how to take that seriously, Saturn, seriously. And that's where you start learning how to restrict this. Now you're evolving because you got Saturn in the sixth house. Now you dealing with holistic health. Now you don't put red. Now you learning how to eat for your blood type, right? Now you cutting out the processed sugars or whatever the fuck it may be. Okay, Saturn in the sixth house need to learn how to look in the mirror and be able to identify what things is in their spiritual diet in general. As long as you gotta start with your energetic spiritual diet first, and then it manipulates into what you're eating physically. The spirit energy comes first before we start doing things tangibly in the physical realm. So if your spirit is in a space where it's sensitive towards consuming certain energies in general, then you're gonna be way more picky in what you eat. Now, if you have a gluttonous spirit, you don't give a damn about your physical appearance. You don't give a damn about your frequency, vibration, how you feel about yourself. Yeah, you overeat like a mug. Why do I care? What processed sugars is, what red meat does to my system, how hard it is to digest for me being this blood type, this, that. What do I care? I'm not even in a healthy frequency vibration. It's going to turn into more of a negative coping mechanism anyways, right? That's what we do when we're in negative frequency vibration. We find shit to cope with, all right? So Saturn in the sixth house, yeah, you're going to be talking to the doctor a whole lot. You're going to be watching a lot of YouTube videos, understanding how to detox, how to do this, how to get rid of that, how to ease back pain. Why do I have chronic migraines? You wasn't born with this shit, but for your whole 20s, you got chronic migraines. Because you don't know how to identify what you need to put restrictions on in your sixth house. You let anything into your sixth house. You meet a friend in college, you meet a friend at work, whatever drugs they doing, like, yeah, you never tried E-pills, you never tried Molly, yeah, let me try it. Throw it right into my sixth house. It might help me with my nervous system. It might help me with my anxiety anyways. The sixth house deal with your nervous system. Yeah, let me try this. Let me try that. Why do you think a lot of Virgos placements be addicted to mad shit? Virgos, I'm sorry, Virgos. I'm sorry. I don't mean to drag you. A lot of heavy sixth house placements, a lot of Virgo placements. They smoke, run through packs of cigarettes. They need alcohol. They be doing this, that, and the third. And they supposed to be the virgin. So it's just like the Libra. We supposed to be the balance, always unbalanced. Virgo's supposed to be the virgin and be out here being toxic. But in our evolved states, in our evolved and matured states, Libras, we hella disciplined relationship-wise. We'll be the example of what, healthy unions look like. And Virgo in the evolved states be the example of, like, yeah, I ain't touching that shit. Like, them niggas smoking crack over there, smoking coke over there. My friends be eating this, that, and the third over there. Like, yeah, I don't participate in all that. They know I'm not playing that. They know I'm on my diet. They know I drink my water, eat my greens. So yes, that's sixth house energy right there. Saturn in the sixth house. But a lot of the times when I walk into them, it be look. I ain't gonna lie, but this is one placement with Saturn. It be looking like, damn, y'all niggas mature quick here. That's how it be coming off to me. That's how it be coming off to me. I'd be like, damn, these workhorses. All right, motherfuckers be asking me, boy, are you a Capricorn moon? Rising, why your ass always late to live streams? This and the third. You always talking about you scattered. Mother flipper, I got Saturn in the first. So my chart ruled by Saturn But when your chart ruler is in a fucked up place, I tell y'all all the time, when your ruler or your chart is not healthy, it affects everything. It don't just affect the house it rules. That's your chart ruler. So my lack of punctuality, my lack of discipline, my whole life is upside down. Go talk to a Capricorn Aquarius rising that's part of the Saturn and Capricorn Aquarius generation that got Saturn in their first house. We got testimonies for that. No personal discipline. We can't get right in our relationships. We getting fired from our jobs. We ain't got no time to work on our creativity. Motherfuckers in the house, our parents, our household, family members start looking at us like, nigga, you ain't shit. You fucking all your potential. When you was a baby, I thought you was working. You gonna put your ass to work when you was 6 months old. How you pan out like this? Okay? So, yeah, that Saturn the first, not no joke, man. But, so Saturn in the sixth house, this is what's be going on here, man. You got to discipline that goddamn sixth house. You need to learn how to put restrictions on things with your energetic diet, this, and third. A lot of y'all, once again, a lot of y'all be tapping into, more forms of, really getting into studious energy with health, but it be through, it's not just because you be intrigued about health. It's like at times you probably, a lot of times, 7 out of 10 times, Saturn in the sixth house ran into a situation where you started realizing what's not good for your health. You start realizing what the source of them chronic migraines is. Why you dealing with that lower back pain? Why your joints be acting funny? Why your nervous system is just jacked up? And that forces you to have to get into understanding how to regulate, get more serious about your energetic diet in general. And also the workspace. Once again, the workspace, when you got Saturn in the sixth house, when you have something that you really value and you structure and you want to take that value, take that talent and see what it could grow into and really max out its potential. When you got Saturn in the sixth house, you need to develop that sense of regimen and consistency and relentless work ethic to see that second house seed grow. You need to develop that there. It's gonna start depending on that placement a lot of the times, because that's a karmic place. So as much as you good with this talent, as much as you feel like your value, as much confidence you have with this talent, you got Saturn in the sixth house. You got a lot of karmic responsibility dealing with sustaining a project. A lot of you guys got Saturn in the sixth house and you go to your workspace and you work horses. But when it comes into creative projects in your life, you can't sustain that. So when it comes into authority in a workspace, yeah, you employee of the month. Three months in a row, too. I mean, you the 3-time champ employee of the month. But when we get into you taking a real second house value that you have and maintaining concentration on that, that's a different challenge there now. But your Saturn is you could see Saturn in the sixth house people go to work in the workspace though. They're gonna go to work, their punctuality usually gonna be good. They're gonna take care of tasks there. They're gonna get annoyed when they gotta work with somebody else that don't work as good as them. Saturn in the sixth, hell yeah. Alright? So you got that going on. Saturn in the seventh house. One of my favorite placements in the zodiac. One of my favorite alignments. Saturn in the seventh. All right. Now, this is an exaltation place, guys. This isn't an exaltation place. So you could be extreme with exaltation places. You could be overly confident here. That could get you into some trouble at times. You could be a little chaotic because you feel very powerful at times. But nonetheless, it's a powerful placement. But this is the thing. When we talk about placements that have a higher charge and more extreme, extreme intense energy because it's so powerful, it comes with more responsibility. All right? So when you got Saturn in the seventh house, the karma here is really understanding how to hone in on your intuition of placing restrictions and healthy restrictions and boundaries in your relationship life in general. Saturn in the seventh house, people deal with so much extra karma, so much extra bullshit when they allow themselves to date somebody they had no business dating. It's so much people with Saturn in the seventh house dealing with karmic babies because your lack of discipline, karma, you got way more intuition here. You got way more wisdom here. So you have a smaller margin for error here. Saturn in the first house, I get more grace. I get a little bit more grace because my Saturn already fucked up a little bit. So God be like, that nigga gotta take a little bit more time. I get a little bit more grace Saturn in the fourth house, they got a little bit more grace dealing with all that damn responsibility in the home environment as a child. This, that, third. God could be only so tough on that child. All right. Saturn in the seventh house, nope. You don't get that type of grace. So that's why your margin for error be so small when it comes into allowing yourself to relate to people, spend, participate. You know better. You know you is not no gangster hanging around with gang members. You gonna end up doing jail for niggas, doing a sentence for niggas. You should not. You should have never been in a situation, but you're not a snitch though. So you guilty by association, 5-6 year bid, juvenile. 3 years in juvie, 2 years in adult prison. You come out and now that's what you had to experience Saturn in the seventh house with your exaltation to really activate your true awareness on understanding how to navigate relationships in this world and how people can affect your reality, whether it's an intimate romantic relationship or not. Saturn in the seventh house, I'm trying to tell you, I don't mean to trigger, but the sun is in Aquarius, the moon is in Scorpio, and I'm Saturn's favorite nephew, so I can't help it. All right, but you got Saturn in the seventh house. Go ahead, play around, and you date people just off the name of the flesh. You ain't got no purpose. You don't see no significance into this connection. And I'm not talking about. I get it. When we young, this, that, and the third, you might experience intensity when you young, but it's like when you start maturing and you an adult, you're supposed to be more serious about your relationships, who you exchange energy with, and you being lackadaisical with it with Saturn in the seventh house, especially because with Saturn in the seventh house, people, they know how to use relationships. So if they have any sense of charm, if they have, and on top of Saturn in the seventh house, they have a lot of air placements, they have, charisma, they have strong personality, they got, whatever it is that could have a strong gravitational pull on people, they could get manipulative here with Saturn in the seventh house. So I ain't gonna lie, these niggas can make niggas work for them. Saturn in the seventh house know how to start a business, make everybody think they bosses in a business, and they really all working for Saturn in the seventh house. You have a husband, a wife a husband, Saturn in the seventh house, his wife working for that nigga. You have a wife, Saturn in the seventh house, got a husband on the string. So you could take your powers, take it from a Libra. This is my house. You could take advantage of your powers here, and that starts creating some karma. So you got these astrologers that'll tell you, oh, this is all bad with the detriments and the fall placements, and then it's all good with these placements when it could be all bad because you don't understand how to control the power here. You don't understand how to control the power, and it's controlling you. You get into manipulative bags with all the power you have, and it's creating bad karma. It's creating you getting blood on your hands, taking advantage of people's Saturn in the seventh house. So your karma here is to continuously learn how to vet your partnerships. Everything is a time process. Saturn in the seventh house. Why y'all think it takes so much time for you to connect with people at times? Why do you think it takes so much time? You meet somebody at the club. Club is mad ratchet. You meet somebody at school, at the workplace, in this event, wherever it is. Everything. I mean, fireworks. Everything that the honeymoon phase should be. But damn, to link up, they got a lot of responsibilities. You got. This is when it's real. This is when it's real. We ain't talking about no little kiddie play, no casual 2024 age of Aquarius. Don't care about spirit, just please my flesh relationship. We ain't talking about that. We ain't talking about just sliding your DMs. Let's hook up culture relationship. I'm talking about when you bump into to significant people in your life that can really help you. That are going to be an influence to help you build and structure yourself, because that's what happens when you got Saturn in the seventh house. You can attract a lot of people that's serious about development in your life, and you're going to create blockages having these people, which could easily be moved into your life. You got Saturn in the seventh house. Productive people that are on missions in their life, people that are taking self-development serious, taking how they navigate their career life, their career and their purpose seriously. That's part of the benefit with Saturn in the seventh house. You have direct access to some of these people. When you taking shit serious in your life with this exaltation, jumping into a network space or being able to connect it to the external realm and attract resources for that business, brand, creative endeavor that you're on, you got easy access to it. So this is why your margin ever is very small when you allow yourself to stay subjected to mundane relationships. You don't know how to put restrictions on people around you that are enabling negative habits that are counterproductive towards your goals and your state of stability in life. So yeah, let these astrologers tell you all this goddamn power here with Saturn in the seventh house without letting you know what karma it comes with not applying that power here. Yes, you will go to jail.
You go to jail in Saturn in the seventh house. There's a lot of niggas in jail right now with Saturn in the seventh house, and all they doing is reflecting on how I let myself. How did I not listen to my intuition when I knew I shouldn't have been hanging around with them niggas? These niggas wanted me to drive the car for the robbery last minute, aka I cannot make decisions that quick, and I cannot allow my reality to force me to make decisions as far as partnerships. A nigga want to do business with me, I gotta vet they ass, see who they've done business with in the past, if they fucked them over, past clients or whatnot. This chick want to connect with me, she's approached me, she want to date me. I gotta really know what's to her, regardless of how good she looks. Regardless of how good she looks. Vice versa, ladies. You make a nigga bet you for real. You make a nigga court your ass for real Saturn in the seventh house, or prepare for all the different type of long-term things that can manifest. Then that's the thing. Saturn be long-term. So when it gives you your karma in the seventh house, this is not 3-month detention center. This is 5-year bid. This is 3 to 5. It's not no joke. It's the hood's pastor. It's the hood's guru. I'm going to keep it all the way funky with y'all. That's how it be, Saturn in the seventh house. Now, Saturn in its most matured energy, in its controlled energy, moving wisely in the seventh house, it takes its time with every single relationship process, to the point that they don't even stress things with relationships, because they'll say shit like, yeah, eventually people going to show their true colors. This is the mentality Saturn in the seventh house people will start developing in a relationship. Like, yeah, eventually people going to start showing their true colors. Like, I ain't sweating shorty. Ladies, I ain't sweating that nigga, this, that, and the third. Like, I'm not sweating to see how important they are, who they really are in my life, what they mean. Eventually, they'll show their true colors. Then I'll make my decisions from there. If this person really wants to pursue me, this, that, and the third, they're going to make efforts to show how much of their time they want to share with me. That starts to show you how much somebody's invested into you, how much time they're placing into certain things. So, Saturn has all these Saturn in the seventh house has all this innate understanding about things. So once again, you allow yourself to stay subjected to mundane relationships. You don't know how to be more wise about who you connect to. You know damn well you got this business partnership. This business in your mind. Golden idea. But you let your lazy ass cousin don't know how to work for anything just be a part of the business. With Saturn in the seventh house, you know better than that. Your son has Saturn in the seventh. Once you see any type of influence of your son hanging around motherfuckers he shouldn't be hanging around, you cut that shit off. You don't linger. You don't let that linger. You don't let that linger at all. See your son hanging around bad influences or whatnot. No. You got to transfer him to another school. You do that. Saturn in the seventh house. They're going to have to learn, all right, in some type of shape or form. But the intuition be there. Is just, once again, because this is a karmic house, sometimes we have to run into our adversary, extreme energies, to start growing that maturity. All right. Everybody here could talk about the extreme things they experience with a Saturn house, to have to get them to understand how to move in reality a bit better. Everybody in here could give me a testimony right now. And I'm not talking about mild shit, major shit. Okay? So, yes, with great power come great responsibility. Saturn in the seventh house. You guys could be the example of, like, damn, that's the relationship goals I want. Damn, I hope to have a marriage like that one day. Looking at Saturn in the seventh house, because their vetting process, how they're able to trust their intuition, placing time into understanding somebody, building a connection. And that only reels in more resources, or just them simply being serious about what they're connecting out into the world. Because the seventh house starts the connection out into the external realm. First through the sixth houses, that's your personal introspect. When you get into the seventh house, now we out in the world. 7th through the 12th house. All right, it's the reason why the 4th house, most private, 10th house, right in the middle of that space. It's the highest point of the chart, right? So where everybody can see you. So that becomes your public image. But that's what we got going on with Saturn in 7th house. Your karma is learning how to use your past life mastery and experience, understanding how to place healthy boundaries and guards on relationships and people, places, and things in your life to the point it starts getting to a point you niggas become wizards. Like, okay, this is an associate, this is a friend, this is somebody I'm taking seriously dating that has wifey potential. This is the two people I'm working with this business because I know they're as serious as I am because I vetted these niggas. This is blah blah blah. I mean, these are people that you go to. This is one of the people that you go to understand. You calling them, you know, to get more perspective on how you should deal with a relationship in your life in some type of shape or form. So we got that going on. Saturn in the 7th, Saturn in the 8th. I already spent a lot of time on that one right there. Saturn in the 8th house. What is the 8th house? Attachments, desires, deep transformation, reinvention, rebirth energy. When you got Saturn in the 8th house, if this person don't understand how to start placing restrictions on their and regulating things with their desires, this is where the karma start rolling in. This is where the karma start rolling. I'm feeling real chapped today. Sorry, you know I'm a Libra. This is where the karma start rolling in. Saturn in the 8th. You don't know, you identifying desires, your deep desires, and you still don't know how to discipline them. You a sex addict. You don't understand how that's creating negativity in your life. You can't put the weed down. You can't put the liquor down. You gonna go to jail off of that shit. Saturn be tied to institutions and shit. It's restriction energy. What restricts us here? Your freedom is restricted in that mug. Your desires will get you into that, even if you don't think it will. Even if you don't think it will. You so lost into your sex addiction, you dealing with somebody's partner, they come in, y'all get into a whole scuffle, you end up killing their ass defending themselves. Now you locked up. Look what you got into because of your desires. That whole situation was preventable, but that's not something that you see happening because you're a sex addict. You don't see things like that manifesting, right? You don't think that's the last thing you probably think you're gonna manifest. You probably think you're gonna manifest a karmic baby or an STD before that. This is the 8th house. This is deep transformation, and not saying that ain't deep. Having a karmic baby, a baby out of wedlock, unplanned baby, an unplanned child, long-term responsibility with the nigga woman you don't even fucking like. So I don't know what's more of a long-term responsibility than that. I gotta learn to deal with this motherfucker for the rest of my life. I don't know what's more karmic than that. STD. Saturn in the 8th house. Think you won't get a long-term STD. And this ain't no shit Dr. Sebi's products can get rid of. You got some new shit with Saturn in the 8th house. You go into the doctor, you're like, what the fuck is this? This ain't HIV, this is VIH. Niggas is giving, you got some new shit. They got to name your shit some new shit. Saturn in the 8th house, you think is a game. You ain't got no discipline, no sense of restriction and boundary on your desires. And now I know I'm using examples with sex. Your desires could be all different type of things in the 8th house. Your desire, you can have a heavy desire to get money and you do anything for money. You sell your body for money. You sell your body for money. And honestly, sometimes people be placed in positions to do certain things that they had to do in a bit in survival mode. So that's not even a cast judgment, but this is just I just got to throw all these different type of examples out there, right? Because a chick could sell her body and go to heaven because her spirit was in a certain place. Maybe she didn't want to do that shit. She resulted to doing it, and that's how she knows how to provide, and she ain't have no guidance. She just doing what she knows. She really wish she couldn't be doing this. She doesn't resonate with. She don't feel fulfilled and wants to change her life. She transitions. God gonna let her into heaven. So I don't mean to cast judgment in that way, but guys, we have to. This is real nigga shit. We have to think about these. These are real things that happen in life. You know, Saturn in the 8th house. You know, you think you could do? You think you could have one night stands? You think that's something you could do? You think you so thirsty to get a bag, jumping into all this heavy illegal activity because of your desires when you could just place time into a passion, place time into some real sense of value? I mean, I'm from New York City. I don't think there's a state that scam more than New York City. I know some sophisticated scammers. I mean, intelligent brothers. That I mean, they doing sophisticated scams, like not no little bullshit. And that same time and intellect could be placed into doing some shit, to be doing some other shit that's great and brilliant. But no, you want it quick. You want it overnight. You're not willing to place time into anything. So when you got Saturn in the eighth house, when you don't know how to identify your ability to discipline yourself amongst your desires, oh, the long term karma, you got all different type of things going on in the eighth house. So you asking for some real shit here. You asking for some real shit here. Saturn in the eighth. You the niggas supposed to be teaching us how to vet our timeline and not fall into things with social media and learn how to, protect our subconscious from hip hop and the things projected on us that fuel our desires. And I can't even be on Instagram. You think I could be on an abstaining journey and be scrolling on Instagram? I post and I get the fuck off this app. This app is from the devil. This app is from the devil. I don't even be like liking women's. I don't even be liking like women's pic. I show love this and the third to certain followers this and the third, but I don't be like liking a bunch of like women only fan pictures and bitches that be half naked on social media. So I be confused how that should even be my algorithm. I be like, I'm teaching spirituality. I'm trying to turn into a monk right now. I'm trying to transition into a monk in my life. Why is this big booty hole all over my explore? I don't know this bitch. I never been on her page, nothing. Like Saturn in the eighth house, people, y'all supposed to help us regulate this shit. Y'all supposed to be the one teaching us, like, guys, there's a lot of different programs that play on your desires in the world, that play on your temptations, this, that, and the third, and you got to learn to navigate this eighth house energy in order to evolve, guys. You got to walk through the darkness in order to evolve. That's what y'all here to do. But it starts with y'all being an example in y'all personal life. Ladies, I know what y'all going through. It ain't just us niggas. Every fucking content creator y'all follow is promoting the rose. Ladies, I know what y'all going through. Y'all seeing other women be half naked. That should start fucking with your mind. Like, maybe I gotta post a bathing suit pic. Maybe I gotta show a little bit of derriere myself to get up a little. These bitches is beating me in the competition. They ain't beating you with shit. You better get your Ash Wednesday self on. All right. Learn how to keep it sexy and sophisticated at the same time. Don't nobody want to see long skirt hoes on my timeline. I ain't saying I want to see some long skirt none ass hoes on my timeline. No, you show a little something for a brother. All right, damn. You a whole woman. Keep it sexy. Do your thing, baby. Let your beauty radiate. Don't nobody want to see no covered up nuns on the timeline. But Lord have mercy. I've dated a girl before that started feeling like she had to keep up. Like, what you think? Should I post this? I said, why? She's like, no, I just feel like, I like, look at you. Do you hear what you're saying right now? It's not even you. So I know what's going on. The social media is playing on both of us, the man and the woman. So you got Saturn in the eighth house, man. You got to get serious about your healing journey. And now this placement can unlock heavy healing properties. You got Saturn in the eighth house. You can start unlocking a whole bunch of strong healing properties. Understanding things with abstinence. It don't have to be as serious as that, but depending on how deep you done got into your desires, you might need to abstain. Things with disciplining. When you manifest deep transformation in your life, because that's another thing. The eighth house deal with deep transformation. So you got Saturn here. You don't know how to discipline things. You don't know how to regulate things, people, places, and things in your life. Desires, attachments. It'll take a deep transformative situation for you to start getting serious, right? Maybe it take for you to have a child to start feeling like you can't be giving your box out like that. Maybe it take for a nigga to get burnt to feel like, damn, I can't just be running up in any hole like that. I shouldn't be dealing with hoes, women that I consider hoes in the first place. Why would I want my energy to even connect to the 1,000 niggas she got in her system? So the moon is in Scorpio, guys. I'm sorry if I'm being too heavy right now. It is what it is. Like, I'm sorry, guys. So, not really sorry, but y'all know what I'm trying to say. Saturn, and then y'all can't expect me to keep it all PG. You talk about the eighth house. This is the eighth house. All right. So you need to be careful not being able to regulate and discipline things in the name of your desires, in the name of your attachments. How much niggas is gonna have control over you in a relationship until you learn how to vet a motherfucker the right way? I be watching Kendra G show and I just be like, Lord have mercy, the black community needs therapy. All these women in here coming on talking about yeah, I got 5 kids. And then Kendra be like, with the same nigga, like, yeah, like why you not with the nigga? Like, the nigga was abusive. He was on drugs. He's like, when you realize that though, you have 5 kids with the nigga, 3 kids with the nigga. When you gonna realize that? So I don't want to hear it. You motherfuckers gotta learn to vet people properly. Learn to take your time getting to know somebody. Golly. People gonna show their true colors eventually. People cannot hide who they truly are. Y'all don't even give yourself no chance to see somebody moon sign. You just caught up in the sun. You caught up in their rising. You caught up in their beauty. You caught up in their appearance. That's all appearance energy. That's all projection energy. Our suns are protecting our moon. Do you understand that the moon is vulnerable? The moon don't want to just be outside. That's all internal energy. That's all internal energy. We don't be wanting our moon to be seen right away when we connecting with people. We trying to just brag with the sun. But when you start building more of an intimate connection with somebody, you start taking time getting to know somebody, you start seeing how somebody reacts and responds to situations. Now you see their true colors. Now you see their moon. Now you can make more decisions about how much you want to participate and place time into this connection, or if this is something you can't get with because it's too much of a fucking red flag. Nigga, this nigga or somebody's daughter was giving you this projection for how many months, and then you was going through something or something transpired and you seen their true reaction to something and you was like, oh, okay, that's how you really feel about this, that, and the third, or that's how you respond in situations like this, that, and the third. Okay, that's all I had to see. That's all I had to see. All right. So yeah, Saturn in the 8th house, it ain't no game. Now you guys, when y'all get serious about things that y'all building and structuring in your life and really enhance, discipline in your life, other people gonna want to throw money in your hands. Whether you're helping them transform things, you're helping stabilize things for other people, they look at you as somebody that can help bring management into their life, especially if you're dealing with anything dealing with like spirituality, the subconscious, psychology. A lot of people with Saturn in the 8th house could get into things dealing with psychology because you're understanding how to have a realistic perspective on how reality has impacted somebody's subconscious, how realistic experiences they manifested in their life is impacting their psyche in different ways. So Saturn in the 8th house could already has strong potential dealing with psychology in that point of view. All right. And now this person can counsel you, right? Like, all right, this is what we're going to do. They give you tangible advice. It's Saturn. It's not just some up in the air shit. It's like, this is what we're going to do. 3 times a week, you're gonna do some breath work. You're gonna do some breath work every day. All right. When you go home, I need you to write down 20 things you're grateful for. All right. After that, I need you to reach out to your last 3 exes and express what is it that you just told me in this session. So spiritually, you get that off your chest. After that, we're gonna do a month of these exercises and practice. By the second month, 90 days in, we're going to enhance that. We're going to add this into the regimen. Saturn in the 8th house is giving you tangible things, practices, and exercises to do to start uplifting the subconscious. And now you're building more of a foundation with your subconscious. So now there's more clarity as far as how to move spiritual baggage around. There's more clarity on how to vet things dealing with attachments, understanding your triggers. So it doesn't have to, you don't have to run into extreme things. But like I said, that sometimes that's just how it is in this earth realm because it's training. It's training here. All right. Um. That's Saturn in the 8th house. Saturn in the 9th house. Saturn in the 9th house. All right. Now when you got Saturn in the 9th house, Umi, I don't know if Umi's still in here. Shout out to her for that cash app, man. Y'all don't be scared to be generous now. Y'all don't be. I know it's been a while. I've been on the IG thing. All right. We dealing with some good. We dealing with a lot of money signs in the air. We got a Saturn sign, the Sun is Saturn. We got Moon and Scorpio. All right. Don't feel afraid to send a brother a plate. All right. Now, okay. Saturn in the 9th house. Let's wrap it up. Let's wrap it up. 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. Last four. Last four. Let's keep going strong. Saturn in the 9th house. The 9th house dealing with experiences. The 9th house dealing with your education, advanced education. Now we get into college. Now we get into grad school. Now we get into that course, that social media marketing course you're getting into, that cryptocurrency course you're getting to as an adult. You going to esthetician school. You doing all this different type of forms of advanced education after high school, right? Now this is the thing with Saturn in the ninth house, right? This is spiritually another spiritually inclined house, just like the eighth house. When you got Saturn in this area, your karma here is gonna be being able to. Now listen, guys. When you got ninth house placements, you're talking to a ninth houser right now. When you got these placements in these mystic houses, in these spiritually inclined houses, eighth, ninth, 11th, 12th house, you gotta really run with your intuition and activate your past life memory, dealing with your spiritual awareness. There's a little bit of a lack of a small margin for error for things here too. You can't say this is a house dealing with spirituality and education and think you don't your lessons are not like Jupiter is another one. I just said Jupiter is a very karmic planet next to Saturn. It's probably number 2 right after Saturn. So ninth house placements ain't no joke. All right, Sun in the ninth house. You're looking at him right now. So what type of karma you think I manifest if I could get on this camera and talk to y'all like that, talk to the community like that, and not practice none of this shit in my life? What type of karma you think I'm gonna get? I'll get exposed in front of the world with what I'm doing. I know spirituality that well to understand that. Y'all get exposed in front of the world just like a lot of niggas do that try to manipulate spirituality for their personal gains or whatever gains in career. All right, so that's that though. But Saturn in the ninth house, your karma here is going to be able to break down programs that have been bestowed upon you in order to create opportunities to start developing your own belief system. So you may come into this realm, Saturn in ninth house, you have a parent that's, serious as hell about Christianity. Serious ass Catholic. Serious ass with their religion as hell. You ain't get no chance. You ain't get no goddamn chance to you ain't get no chance to somebody's calling me. I'm just telling them on live. You ain't get no chance to come into the world and see what you want to become educated about, what you wanted to pursue in school. You want to do what? You want to not go to college to do what? You want to go to college and major in what? Man, you're going to take your ass to med school. You're going to take your ass to law school. major in this, major in business administration, major in this, that, and the third. You want to go to culinary arts school and chase your passion, cooking. You want to do that. You're going to take your ass to what? You're going to continue the tradition. Ninth house also deal with traditions, guys. You're going to take your ass and extend the lineage of our family. You're going to study this religion. You're going to major in this. All right? And your parents, your authorities, ninth house also dealing with authorities. They're very serious about it. They're intense about it. They damn near throw you in a chokehold. And this is part of your karma. Being able to, at some point in your life, break out of these ideologies. So my parents are devout conservative Christians. Listen, it ain't no joke, Saturn in the ninth house. They serious about it. Everything with Saturn is serious. So you're going to see what serious spiritual practice look like. You're going to see what that look like Saturn in the ninth house. It may not be your parents. It may be your grandma. It's going to be, you're going to see it. And it's going to be influenced in your life. So it gets to a point where the karma here is being able to unlearn and detach from these constructs. So you can start your own true spiritual journey. You can start developing your own belief systems. Even if you go from Christianity to another religion. All right? Right? Whether you practice in true forms of spirituality or not. That is part of the fulfillment here, though. At least if I'm a Buddhist or at least if I continue to practice Christianity, it was because I was able to embrace my own path of, learning about it and experiencing certain things, this, that, and the third, and not just following the program that was projected on me. So you could take this into a spiritual perspective, and you could take this into an educational perspective. There's a lot of people right now, Saturn in the ninth house. They're in this office. They're sitting in the office right now in a cubicle or somewhere that they don't want to fucking be because they didn't have the nuts to tell their parents, like, yo, I'm not majoring that. I'm not doing that. Just because you niggas came here from whatever island and country, or just because y'all parents, this is a continuous tradition and y'all think this is what we got to do. This is the age of Aquarius. There's so many different options and resources out in the world, so many different things to do. And I never got into a state where I was able to make my own decision for myself and what I want to become educated about and how I wanted to educate the world, what type of path I wanted to travel to bring my own experiences, to develop my own belief system in some type of shape or form. I don't know how or where to send money. There's no links. My Cash App is in the pin, the pin comment. I appreciate that. I appreciate it. All right. So when you got that Saturn in the ninth house, I only know how to pass the play on YouTube. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate that, little Miss Victoria. All right. Cash App in the pin comment, y'all. Cash App in the pin comment. All right. Don't be afraid to be generous now. All right. So somebody. I'm sorry. Somebody just told me, boy, you need to start telling people to compensate you some more. You be too nice. So I'm trying. I'm trying. I just believe in giving out your value and letting the world give you your results. But I'm trying. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Fuck it. All right. Send a nigga a Cash App, y'all. All right. Pay for a nigga dinner tonight. Pay for a nigga coffee tomorrow. I make my own coffee, but all right. Isn't the inflation be inflating? All right. It's starting to raise the price on Folgers. I'm noticing that. All right. But anyways, so Saturn in the ninth house is be part of your karma here. When you got Saturn in the ninth house, you're gonna attract motherfuckers. You got to be able to not allow yourself to get too locked in on one teacher, on one educational resource, because you get a little dogmatic with your form of spirituality with Saturn in the ninth house. So, like somebody with Saturn in the ninth house, they get a taste of astrology, and they could say to hell with everything. I don't care about nothing else. Tarot, it ain't got nothing on astrology. Whatever psychic intuitive readers out, I ain't got nothing on astrology. It's like, all right, I get it. Astrology is the shit. This is the study of life. I get it. I ain't mad at you, brother. But look how you're condensing yourself. You're restricting your ability to experience and expand. Ninth house, experience, education, expansion. Now you're becoming so condensed to this that, you got your little fucking medical degree. You're a whole doctor. You don't know shit about holistic health to the point your willy-nilly ass gonna end up fucking developing cancer in some type of shape or form because you thought this, that, and the third about fucking med school, about the body, this, that, and the third. You don't know shit about an energetic diet. You don't know shit about an energetic diet. You work in that cold-ass fucking hospital all fucking day with that low-ass vibration in that motherfucker. No disrespect, I'm sorry, I ain't trying to project anybody that work in the hospital, but I'm gonna be honest with you, that environment ain't it. We need people to heal, but of course America constructed hospitals in a certain way. Schools, hospitals, they're all constructed in a certain way. It don't have to be in that environment. You see Dr. Sebi Island? You think it feel like a hospital in that bitch? You got alkaline water everywhere. We got solar panels in this bitch. It's damn near ain't no lights. Everything is light from the sun. We got natural foods. The vibration is high. I mean, fruits and vegetables, the things God put here for free. Yo, we gotta do Orlando Brown chart. Oh my God. Bro, my past, I don't mean to be all sentimental and shit, this, that, and the third. My bro watching me shine right now, but my older brother transitioned from cancer. It used to be so hard being in that environment, having to go visit him in the hospitals, knowing what the fuck is this environment gonna do? At a young age, me understanding that. It's fucking cold in here. Like, what the fuck? This environment just ain't it. Feel like a bunch of dead spirits in this bitch. And he's in the cancer patient. Like, just go walking in that floor, I used to feel the vibration here. I used to hate that for him. I used to hate that shit. So, just looking at, you think things ain't constructed like that on purpose? No, that's the way America wants you to be. They know, the powers that be understand all of this shit. So that's why a nigga like Dr. Sebi creates a healing ass center in a space like this. You think, listen, there's people that got water fasting centers, all different type of, strong holistic environments that can really help reverse disease in all different type of ways. You think these things you think they're projected on your timeline like that? Well, you got to find these niggas because the algorithm is not helping them. They could put all the money they want in their ads. You have to work to find that shit. You don't really have to adamantly search for it. Most likely, when you're dealing with some terminal shit, now you're looking for the most extreme shit to find. Damn, they really got a water fasting center in Brazil? Going to these bum-ass fucking hospitals and shit. Fucked up-ass environment. Energies in there is just upside down and shit. You feel me? This is America, though. This is America. No Childish Gambino. All right? This is the Matrix. Okay? So this is why we gotta unlearn to learn some shit in this bitch. Right? So I don't give a fuck about a degree, to be honest with you. I'm a spiritual nigga that went to college. I did both. I'm doing both, if you could say that. Okay? And motherfuckers get a degree, think they know everything. Bitch, you was plugged into the matrix like a mother flipper. Alright? You're a whole medical doctor, you still get cancer. You don't know shit about energetic diet. You're a medical doctor, you smoke cigarettes. How the fuck that work? You're a medical doctor, you just gluttonous. How you a fat medical doctor? That's how you know this world backwards. You a medical, they let you have a medical degree? What credentials? Cause you can study well? Nigga, you overweight. And you a doctor, you supposed to tell me about my health? You know how discouraged I'd be having a real issue with my fucking blood or some shit? And I gotta go in the hospital and have a fat nigga tell me how to deal with my shit? If you don't bring a lean, mean, green machine in this motherfucker real quick, bring a young doctor with abs to tell me what the fuck to do with my body. But no, people don't take the initiative to learn in the Matrix. So you'll have a nigga that's bald, fat, fucked up aura, probably pays for sex, and this nigga telling you how to deal with your health because he got a credentials for it. He got a degree. So Saturn in ninth house, this actually correlates back to y'all because you niggas, y'all are running to these influences where it's like, yo, I have to do the work learning for myself. I have to really do the work, literally. I have to get serious about educating myself, not condensing myself to this format of learning, this resource. Now I have to expand. I have to really expand. When my brother got cancer, that's when we really started diving into things with health. That's where we discovered Dr. Sebi. My brother was on Dr. Sebi products and everything, but we ain't know shit about diet. You can't just be on Dr. Sebi products and be eating bullshit and not fasting and not detoxing. All right, the key to health is really your energetic consumption, your ability to eat to support your blood type, and understanding that detoxing and fasting is the key to healing. Period. Think about it, guys. We constantly eating. Your body's constantly working, constantly breaking things down. That's energy. It gets to a point if your system never got a chance to take a vacation, it never got a chance to breathe. Like, oh my God, this nigga not feeding us today. Woo! All right, let's move things around. White blood cells over here, red blood cells over here. Lymphatic system. All right, you could get lymphatic system getting detox now. So the body detoxes itself. The body detoxes itself, family. All right. So we have to learn how to support the body to do the things it naturally does. Our bodies is the smartest things in existence. But we're not taught that in health ed in school. They not even fucking teaching the medical doctors. Fat, bald head nigga teaching fucked up aura that masturbates, jerks off, pays for sex. Is fucked up ass, low ass frequency vibration finna tell me something about my body. You know what? I'm gonna go work on my energy. I'm gonna go do that. I'm gonna go fast a bit. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna not eat anything over the weekend but blueberries and water. And see what that does for me instead of taking this nigga's advice. I do not want to look like this nigga anytime in my life experience. All right, y'all see my skin? All right, I'm a confident young black man. You see my skin? I'm gonna fucking take care of my black ass. All right, shit, energy from energy. All right, this ain't a food diet. This is the energy diet. All right. So Saturn in ninth house, y'all gotta start learning how to place restrictions in certain areas in some type of shape or form. So you can refine your spiritual development, okay? Breaking down programs that's been thrown on you and making sure you get serious about devoting yourself towards certain studious pursuits in your life, all right? And then you guys make some serious teachers here, Saturn in ninth house, right? You're probably going to teach like me a little bit. You put your emotions to the side and deliver the message as raw and truthful as it comes. So these be those teachers right there. It's like, this nigga ain't make no jokes. I be joking a lot. I joke a lot to balance my harshness. All right? So motherfuckers have Saturn in the ninth house and shit. Motherfuckers have Saturn in the ninth house. They may not know how to do this that well. It is the ninth house, so the ninth house is dealing with high energies. They don't like heavy energy. It just came out the house with heavy energy. The eighth house. When you get into ninth house, now we're enlightened. So, Saturn may not be that heavy, but they really serious about getting their point out. They're really serious about laying the reality within their education in some type of shape or form, right? So I don't really give a fuck because the student that really wants to learn don't really care about the delivery at all. Like the student, like people think I'm such a good teacher. Yeah, whatever. But I'm such a great student. Regardless of what you think about me teaching wise, I'm so easy to teach. A homeless person can teach me something tonight. I go to the store, young man. Let me tell you something. Your posture. You see how you leaning? You know what that's doing to your spine? I'm gonna sit there and listen to this homeless broke nigga. Like, damn, you right. I've always felt that frequency vibration. You're right. I have to be aligned with my spine. Yes, young man. I can see something in you. Some niggas don't even have. You can't even. Fuck, I'm gonna listen to this nigga for yo. Here's $1, old man. Do you? You know, some niggas pride, ego, too fucked up. Okay, so that's Saturn in the ninth house, man. That's Saturn in the ninth house. I think I gave enough examples with that, and that's your karma, being able to break down the programs and ideologies that was thrown on you to the point you're not allowing yourself to create opportunities to experience the things you want to experience, the things you want to educate yourself about. Okay? Saturn in the 10th. Saturn in the 10th. Now, this is another alignment with great power come great responsibility. With great power come great responsibility with this alignment. Saturn in the ninth house. So when you got Saturn in the ninth house, Saturn in the 10th house. Sorry, guys. When you got Saturn in the 10th house, guys, great power come great responsibility. You think God gonna bless you with the instincts to understand off rip, because this, depending on how much maturity we have with our planets and certain placements, it all comes with innate understandings about things in general. You know, it just takes time for things to mature and get activated at times. So you got Saturn in the 10th house. Innately, intuitively, you're going to be able to understand more than other people that you're going to have to work for something in life. Anything worth having from a career perspective, you're going to have to work for that shit. You're going to place time into it. These people, Saturn in the 10th house people, they don't have that much of a hard time accepting that reality. So you got a motherfucker Saturn in the 5th house. Oh my God, I've been YouTubing for 3 months. I only got, damn, I thought I'd have at least 5K subscribers. I only got like 300 niggas. Saturn in the 10th house, YouTubing for 3 months. And it's like, okay, I got this much subscribers in this much time. Damn. All right, so that means I'm bringing in this much subscribers doing this much work. They get calculated with it. You start getting calculated with it. All right, so I'm going to have to double up my time, do a little bit of OT. All right, adjust my content this way in some type of shape or form. Let me read the comments, see what they like, so I can understand if there's any other new concepts I have to apply and add to the blueprint. So they get surgical. Saturn in the 10th house gets surgical. But this is your karma. Learning how to activate that tough skin. Yeah, you're going to have the intuition to understand how to navigate the 10th house and the properties that it takes. You can understand it takes time to build things in the 10th house. Saturn and 10th house people, once they get known for something, 10th house reputation status, once they get known for something, they know how to activate the ability to be like, oh shit, niggas in the hood know me as a dancer. I'm popular for dancing. I'm popular for my fashion. I'm popular for rapping. I'm popular for doing this, that, and the third. Saturn in the 10th house know how to see their public image and be like, all right, I'm finna max that potential. Now what happens is, with great power comes great responsibility. You're going to have to take some hits in the 10th house to show God and universe how bad you want it, how committed you are to developing this business, this brand, how committed you are to taking this reputation and having it be seen around the world, other than just your neighborhood, other than just your high school. And it could get discouraging. Great power comes great responsibility. Saturn in the 10th house could get very depressing at times. It could get very depressing watching, other people blossom, feeling like they're not placing as much resources and time into what they're doing. And then sometimes Saturn in the 10th house, it's damn near more discouraging when somebody can see the vision. You know what to do, but while you're doing it, you're dealing with mad resistance other than somebody that's like just working with, just seeing what can happen. It's different dealing with obstacles from them different perspectives, because when you see where you're going, it's like, damn, I'm trying to get right there. I know where the fuck I'm trying to go. I'm trying to get right there, but this bitch holding me up, this obstacle over here, like, come on, God, you know I'm locked in. Like, you got to have tough skin, Saturn in the 10th house. You have that gift. You know where to go.
You know how much time it takes to get there. You know how to put the blueprint together. You know you're gonna have to discipline some things and make some sacrifices for your 10th house reputation and social status, and what you want to build in the 10th house. But in the midst of it, when you're taking them hits, when you're taking them setbacks, when you realize you got to pick up a job, another job to support your 10th house endeavor, when you realize you got to quit your job so you could be 100% into your 10th house endeavor and probably not eat as good as you want to eat for the next 3 to 6 months, 6 to 12 months, now God can see how much you really want it in the 10th house, how much you're willing to execute the intuitive ability to have a blueprint in the 10th house. Great power comes great responsibility. Now, the beautiful thing about this placement is the way karma sprouts here is beautiful. So you could go through these sacrifices, place blood, sweat, and tears. Saturn in the 10th house needs to learn how to work without wanting to see the results. You just need to get lost in the process of working. You just need to get lost in the process of putting time in and structure. Don't even look at the results. Don't look at your don't care about your follower count. You counting your followers. You counting your subscribers. You looking at your views. You stay devoted to your process, because all that time over time manipulates into a foundation that pays you without in your sleep when you get Saturn in the 10th house. Puts you in a position where now you have other people come into your life and they're thirsty to uphold your brand and business because they see how fruitful it is. They see how much time you place into your business and brand to the point it's so efficient, and people want to be a part of it because they feel like they can get some fruits from it, but they working for you. They working for you. You got money, you making money in your sleep now. You're an example of other people, an example to other people how to get stable in their life. If you not actually giving them the guide from your experience, okay? But it's only gonna take people that have a certain attitude to embrace some Saturn in the 10th house trials and tribulations, man. It ain't no joke here. With great power come great responsibility. You will see restrictions and obstacles on your way. You'll see restrictions and obstacles on your way. You will build a YouTube channel to 10K, 15K, 20K subscribers. Something happens, a flag, somebody reported your shit hating. Your channel got deleted. So now you got to trust your ability to use the blueprint again, right? There's pretty much a saying: if a nigga know how to make $1 million or whatever, and it wasn't no overnight shit. He developed the blueprint and the process to do it. He could lose that money and get it back because he has the character. He has the ability to construct the blueprint already, right? So, in the book Laws of Success by Napoleon Hill, there's a chapter called The Habit of Saving. And they give so much fruitful principles on how to manage your money and saving. And within that chapter, there's a story about a nigga in the chapter. They have a story of a nigga in the chapter talking about how he made $1 million and blew it. But what he developed, what he learned from making $1 million, he was so confident to make it again. So that's just showing you, when you take time managing the blueprint. Y'all ever see that? Y'all ever seen a content creator lose a channel mad big a couple of months later? It's like, damn, nigga, back on deck already? He got the blueprint. She got the blueprint already. They know what the fuck they doing. All right? They know what they doing. Because it wasn't no overnight shit. And the character, principles was developed. Saturn in the 10th house, this is your life. This is what you're learning here. This is your karma here. All right? That's why you got to go through some discouraging moments at times where you feel like niggas ain't supporting your 10th house. Everything you do in the 10th house is taking way more time, way more resource than you feel like it even needs at times. And commitment and devotion is probably the biggest thing here. Because you could be overly confident with Saturn in the 10th house because you have such a intuitive outlook on what you could build here and understanding what properties it takes to build things. But you see Saturn in the 10th house and you ask them, you see them at 21 years old, they'll tell you what they're working on, what their 3 to 5 year goal is. You see them at 25 years old, it's something different. You see them at 30 years old, it's something different. Motherfucker don't know how to get committed to something in the 10th house because they're overly confident and think they could build things overnight all the time. So it's a great energy to have that, remember, it's Cardinal house. So it's a great energy to have that type of intuition and that type of drive to be like, no, I'm going to devote myself to this, that, and the third. But to sustain it, Saturn, long term, you have to be able to devote yourself, commit yourself to something and sustain it. All right? And that's what that is. Saturn in the 10th house cannot be jumping to this endeavor, jumping into. Don't be idle before you start jumping all over the place. Be idle so you can at least center spirit and take your time to resonate with something, you know. So you got that going on. Saturn in the 11th house. Another placement with great power comes great responsibility. This is Saturn's home, all right? The 11th house is the outside world, the external realm, the public arena, how we connect with strangers and unfamiliar faces and places, rules astrology, strong spiritually inclined house, dealing with abstract thought, dealing with the unknown, dealing with mysticism. Keyword unknown, unfamiliar faces and places. When you got Saturn in the 11th house, your karma is being able to apply your intuition, knowing how to place restrictions and blocks in certain things out in the world that don't serve you. All right? You got Saturn in the 11th house, and you allowing yourself to just maintain a social presence, a social environment where people ain't, none of these niggas got the goals you have. For whatever reason, you associating yourself with these people. And really 8 out of 10 times, 9 out of 10 times, this is really not the biggest lesson for Saturn in 11th house people to know. These are the people that, you know, when you was a child or like, you know, when you had to start going to school on your own in some type of shape or form. And I'm from New York City too, so going to school on your own is a whole different thing. It's not like, I know some of y'all from the South, this, that, and the third, you had to wait for that school bus. You get in that school bus, your school bus is dropping you off from the crib to school. In New York City, we gotta walk past some shit. We might have to walk past a gang or two, walk past the bully, walk past the old head that want to recruit some young niggas to sell some dope for them. Gotta walk past the dropouts that's getting fly from trapping. That walk from home to school, that's a whole different journey now when we don't get that ride no more. It's like, all right, listen, you're in 4th, 5th grade now. You think you can start walking to school? In New York City, that's a different journey. They ain't just fuck the yellow bus. I gotta watch out for the niggas dressed in yellow, the Latin kings, them niggas. I gotta watch out for that right there. I'm gonna set trip on me. All right. So you got Saturn in the 11th house. This individual, when they start walking to school, they could not they know how to, all right, I'm walking to school. Don't pay attention to these niggas here. Okay, yo, what up? No conversation with these niggas here. So it's already going to have the intuition of knowing, I'm not participating with these niggas and this, that, and the third. And I was walking past barely chained up pit bulls. You see what I mean? Like, damn. New York City, man, damn. I remember my best friend, when I used to go to my best friend crib in like 6th, 7th grade, he had a neighbor with a crazy ass dog. And I used to want to go to my best friend crib because we used to play basketball at his crib. He had a little basketball in the backyard, and we played video games, this, that, and the third. But that dog, by the time we got to his block, we looking like, that nigga out. It's like, why the fuck we going through this? We kids. Why we have to worry about that? Damn. Viva la Ills, you better relax with your Libra self. Relax. All right? So that's what happens with Saturn in the 11th house. You already have the natural influence and instinct on how to place boundaries and guards in environments, social influences that you know you shouldn't be participating in. They're unfamiliar, and you need to keep them unfamiliar. And you also have the knack to understand, this person can help my business go from point A to B. Me working with this person right here, I don't really know them like that, but the resource they have and the mentality and the attitude I'm picking up, that's the type of person I need in my group, in my business, in my creative space. You have this knack. You have this gift. Oh my God, I had to run from 2 rocks every morning on the way to... Listen, it's crazy. It's crazy in New York City. So now what happens when you got Saturn in the 11th house and you have no regard for this gift? You have no regard for this gift. You know damn well you shouldn't be hanging around with them niggas. You know damn well this community group that you're a part of, this shit ain't got nothing to do with your spiritual development. You a whole adult. You know the things you're supposed to be doing to dealing with personal spiritual development in your life. But for whatever perks this group or association that you're a part of, this is like somebody that wants to build status or attention in their life in some type of shape or form. Maybe you got a brand business, you're a social media influencer, something, content creator. You want to build some status in your life to stand at third. You get around another motherfucker that got a lot of status, but I mean their morals and everything is just totally against what you into personally. Now you start Saturn 11th house, you fuck around, start, you know, compromising your morals and ethics to be around this person for them public gains. That's bad karma with Saturn 11th. You know better. You don't have to sell yourself short just to get this. But it's Saturn 11th house. You look at things. That's the negative, immature, unevolved way of looking at using relationships when you can manifest way more prosperous opportunities to use people and build. And you can feel how you want about me saying use people. We all motherfucking using each other in some type of way. Like that just has a negative connotation. Are you not used in a family home environment? Did your mother not use you in different ways? Your father not use you in different ways? Go downstairs, get something to mother, get me my food. Go clean outside. Does your partner not use you in different ways? Do you not use their ass in different ways? So like, let's just not be emotionally invested into that turn. But Saturn 11th house, oh they know. Oh they know. They know. They know who not to associate themselves with, and they understand that the world makes relationships go round. They understand that. They get that natural intuition, understanding reality from that perspective of working in relationships. This is what Saturn in the 7th house have the gift of naturally understanding, and Saturn in the 11th house has a gift. But once Saturn in the 7th house starts losing, either they have too much strong desires to get to a certain space to the point they allow themselves to associate with whoever for whatever reason, throw morals, ethics out and standards out the window. These niggas can help me get this standard third. Fuck all that other shit. Motherfucker is a pedophile. A motherfucker is fucking, this nigga's a drug addict. This nigga's disrespectful as fuck to women. Whatever. But you associate yourself with these people because you know you could get this. You could get this game with money. You could get this game with this, that, and the third. You're just compromising yourself. Now, Saturn you got no morals in the 11th house with who you associate yourself with. That's bad karma. And if you're serious about developing your reality structure and stabilizing certain things, building in this lifetime, and then you allow, once again, that's like more of the extreme example. Now you're just allowing your time to be wasted with people that don't have nothing to add into the things that you're building. Such a weak sense of community and tribe. You could be finding community and tribe, but you just around these niggas because you feel like you need to have some type of relatability in your life to stand in third. Saturn in 11th house, you should be able to isolate better than that. You should be able to isolate and not feel like you have to be condensed to upholding mundane relationships of no substance. That's when you get into a lot of trouble here for whatever reason. As far as you upholding relationships that don't serve you. All right, so that's very important with Saturn in the 11th house. Okay, a lot of you guys bring a lot of stability to communities and groups. So a lot of karma here comes when you're a part of a community and group and you realize you don't want to uphold the responsibility for whatever reason. You part of this church and you feel like they fake as hell in this church. They fake as hell. I mean, the pastor be pastoring. I mean, the preacher be preaching. But other than that, outside of that, they all faking here. They be doing a lot of different fake shit that goes against the word, this, that, and the third. And you one of the main members in the church, this, that, and the third. You one of the only righteous niggas in here in some type of shape or form. You're helping run fundraisers for the church, raising all this type of money that you know the pastor probably not using in the right way. You're doing all these things to bring stability to the community, to the church, to the environment. But, it's against morals. It doesn't really align with your real personal spiritual development. So you could fall into situations with Saturn in the 11th house where people will try to use your ability to stabilize things to, put the foundation on your back, put the responsibility on your back to uphold the group, the friendship, these bitches in the group chat you really don't give a fuck about, but in some type of shape or form they manipulated you to be a part of what they got going on. And every time you link them, you be like, why the fuck I be around these hoes? Saturn in the 11th house. Saturn in the 11th house. So that's where your karma comes with great power, great responsibility, or you will end up in some transformative, chaotic situations, not being able to vet and place guards in healthy areas with the 11th house. All right? And then last but never least, Saturn in the 12th house. Saturn in the 12th house. All right? Now, everything gets a little distorted. Everything gets a little distorted when we talk about the 12th house, right, guys? Everything gets a little distorted, everything gets a little blurry. And that's exactly what happens to Saturn in the 12th. Your sense of what you should be structuring, building in your life can get blurry at times. And not so much what the subject is, what the goal is, what the aspiration is, but how to navigate it. Because it's a 12th house, so you'll manifest a lot of miscellaneous energies that could project on your blueprint negatively. All right, you could deal with Saturn in the 12th house. You gotta understand the 12th house is dealing with our imagination, but as you get high in the 12th house here, because there's no limitations and boundaries. This is the connection to the astral realm, the dream realm. So what happened when somebody got Saturn in the 12th house, and Saturn's influencing them to be serious, committed, and devoted to something within their imagination, something dealing with what they could create to the collective consciousness, because the 12th house deals with the connection to the collective consciousness. So does the 11th house. That's two things that these two houses connect us out into the world. 11th house more so logically, 12th house more so subconsciously, psychologically. So people with a lot of 12th house placements, they could bring a lot of healing to others. People with a lot of 11th house placements, they could be ones to transform the ideologies, expand the ideologies and belief systems for others. Now, when we get into Saturn in the 12th house, what happens when you got Saturn here and once again, Saturn's forcing you to be serious, devoted, committed, disciplined about something in your imagination. You got this creative outlook on something that you want to build structure in your imagination, and Saturn's influencing you to be committed. But what happens when you start running into your Saturn restrictions and obstacles is the 12th house. Who knows? Who knows what type of substance, attachment, vice you pick up here, because Saturn's wearing you the fuck out, just like it wears everybody else out. But it's just that now that Saturn's in the 12th house, it's so easy for Saturn to go find somebody to smoke with real quick, because working on his dreams is becoming very discouraging. It's so easy for Saturn to go find somebody, indulge into some shots with. It's so easy for Saturn to find somebody to trauma bond with and leave reality with, in the name of we think we in love, but we really just trauma bonding into a whole nother realm, to the point, what's reality? I don't even know what reality is no more. Reality got so intense dealing with these restrictions and boundaries that I'm jumping into all different I'm getting serious, and I'm actually organizing ways to escape. I'm using Saturn to support and enable escapism in my life. So that is a very important thing when it gets into Saturn here. There's going to be an innate understanding. Like I said, Saturn's going to bring placements in our chart. They're going to give us the intuition for certain things. When you got Saturn in the 11th house, there's going to be an intuitive understanding of knowing, like, yo, this imagination, this creative idea, it just takes time. It just needs some time working on it. You're going to have that feeling. You're going to have that instinct here. Hopefully the 12th house, 12th house is dealing with lost souls. 12th house is dealing with institutions. 12th house is dealing with emotional instability. So you might already be around that and have to learn how to navigate the reality of it. Whether it's your parents emotionally unstable, whether it's your parents, your family members, best friends, in some type of shape or form projecting their insecurities on you. And you cannot let that extra stress you out to the point you just losing your sense of, reality, and feeling like you got to just get in the pack and, be a part of the victimhood gang. Be a part of the victimhood gang. One of the most important things for a Saturn in the 12th house person to hear is, yo, you're experiencing this for a reason. You're so gifted and talented. You're just being crafted right now. This is just going through your trials and tribulations. You see that what's in your imagination? Like, look at all that potential, right? How many people as creative as you? They need to hear that, so they don't feel like they have to fall victim to these different negative coping mechanisms, and to the point, Saturn, they start restricting their own imagination. Like, fuck this dreaming imagination, fuck this creative endeavor, man. I'm just whatever. I'm gonna just stay content in this reality. Like, why would I strive to work towards any of this shit? For what? My parents are straight with their content ass lives. My friends and siblings, they straight with their content ass lives. They don't really work or put time or make sacrifices for nothing in their imagination. They alright. They alright. I mean, they breathing, they good, they straight, they going to work. This Saturn in the 12th house. This shit start getting real here with how you start projecting on your damn self. 12th house, 12th house placements. We projected on ourselves crazy. 12th house placements. All right, I got a bunch of 12th house placements. I got 12th house stellium, so it get crazy here. It get crazy here how we projecting on ourselves in this area. And it's just that when you start running into Saturn, natural Saturn restrictions that we all experience, it's just so easy to develop the negative coping mechanism instead of learning how to discipline that. So the karma comes with Saturn in the 12th house being able to be like, yo, these niggas over here emotionally unstable. I ain't letting their projection insecurity or their unstable energy, their instability get into my force field and penetrate my aura to the point I start, developing this behavior in some type of shape or form. No, it's not happening. It's not happening. I'm keeping my Saturn focused on what this imagination is while learning how to place healthy boundaries. The 12th house in general be needing boundaries. If you got all planets in there be needing to learn how to place some goddamn boundaries if you got strong 12th house placements. So if you have the actual planet dealing with boundaries, now you know you got karma. Now you got real karma understanding how to place boundaries in this area. The regular sun and moon in the 12th house be needing to learn how to place boundaries. And it may not even be as extreme as y'all think it is when I say boundaries as far as like people. The 12th house is your subconscious. Somebody with placements in the 12th house may need to learn how to place boundaries on social media because they're so sensitive to the external realm to the point they're not realizing how the internet and social media is really fueling their subconscious, how relationship podcasts is really changing the way they think about relationships, not realizing it. The 12th house is one of the most unique dynamics when we talk about the houses in the zodiac, right? You could get some vast. Don't y'all realize when you watch different astrologers, we could all talk about the first house, the fourth house, the seventh house, the fifth house. You're gonna hear some of the same things. The 12th house, you start hearing different interpretations about this bitch. I learn new things about the 12th house every fucking day with being a nigga with 12th house placements. All right. So, yes, Saturn 12th house is a lot of potential for depression here. There's a lot of you are here to work cycles out of a lot of y'all be the examples of teaching people how to get out of depression. To be honest with you, Saturn in the motherfucking 12th house. Y'all be the ones telling niggas like, yo, listen, you can't stay in that shit. That shit gonna eat you up. You gotta learn to really work, get up, be active, be productive. Saturn. You gotta start moving shit around, working on this, to paint the house, do something. Mow the lawn, start vacuuming in this bitch. But you can't sink into it. You can't start taking Saturn to start seeing what tools are in the 12th house, which is everything. Literally, is no boundaries here, right? You the one that gotta place boundaries, so Saturn start utilizing anything. Sex, alcohol, weed, shopping. If it's going to help me escape, let's be out. Too much responsibility trying to work on my imagination. Too much responsibility trying to heal my trauma from projections to even start dealing with building my imagination. Let's start there. Let's do our homework on healing first before we start our creativity in my FYBJ main voice. Let's start there. So that's a whole thing right there. Saturn in the water houses, man, it get deep as far as their ability to unlock. A lot of them be having to really initiate their healing process to start getting into a more. They have to learn how to initiate the healing process so they can learn how to start taking more initiative, shifting their frequency vibration. Some of us have some placements like a moon in Cancer, moon in 4th house, Jupiter in 4th house, moon in the same sign as Jupiter, moon aspecting Jupiter positively, Venus sextile in the moon, sun and moon harmony, sun in the 4th, Mars and Pluto in the 8th, Jupiter, Neptune in the 12th. Now these placements, these niggas, they don't really be having to go through so much extreme shit to learn how to shift the subconscious. They gifted doing this shit. They gifted. This your friend that you go cry on her shoulder. You feel like she never fucking go through relationship issues. It's like, what? I'm always crying on this bitch shoulder. When she gonna come to me and cry about a nigga? like, no, she's gifted. She knows how to shift the subconscious. She know how to learn a lesson, understand how this person plays her thing, and experience her subconscious, and know how to learn to extract the lesson and be like, this is a new form of law we now have dealing with guarding the subconscious. Ain't gonna happen again. Some people are spiritually inclined in that area. We all gifted in different areas. We all have different levels of experience in different areas. All right, but that's the 12th house. That's Saturn in the 12th house. All right. Will you do more twin flame soulmate videos? Listen, in 2024 there's a lot going on. I'm picking up a lot of slack for a lot of things. I feel like I've been behind in a couple of years. All right, so y'all got to make sure y'all tap into church on YouTube, guys. That's where a lot of the main church sessions are being had. Okay, hopefully I can get some more frequent IG sessions here and there, just not stuff. But that's what's going on. Y'all definitely gonna get the highlights on IG though, guys. All right, but if you really want to tap into the lucky Libra, y'all got to make sure y'all go to YouTube. Y'all got to tap. I just posted a video on Patreon today too. Breaking down the Meg Thee Stallion and Nicki Minaj situation. All right, there's a lot of occult symbology being broken down in that video, and masterclass dealing with relationship fundamentals in astrology loading up, guys. So keep all notifications on. I'm going to be making updates about that this week, so everybody understand how to what to do to grab your seat. All right, guys. Saturn karma through the houses. Know your karma. Know where to place healthy restrictions and boundaries. Understand how you subconsciously restrict yourself in this area. All right, family? Y'all go ahead and enjoy the rest of your Scorpio moon transit. Use some protection. Don't be too kinky now. All this Saturn energy we talking about, you better... I'm sorry, y'all adults. Do what y'all got to do, all right? I love y'all. Peace.